You want to make a living as a filmmaker or a let's get this show on the road. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Right now, you are tuned in to the Gold Member section. Right now, we're streaming everywhere live for a second. We'll start it off everywhere, and then we're going to jump over to our Gold Members and get everything cracking. How y'all feeling today, man? How y'all feeling today? Today's Gold Member live video is going to talk about how to grow and continue to grow your business using email. We're going to talk a little bit about what you need to do, where you need to go, who you need to get to write what, and how you can use it to help grow this thing, man. You want to make sure you grow this thing, and you can do that using email. So today we're going to talk about that. I'm going to lay it all down for you. We're going to go over a lot of the tips, the facts. If this is your first time watching this channel, which is probably not, because you're either watching on the Facebook page or the YouTube channel via the Gold membership, you got to know that we're here to talk about the business side of things. And as always, we got to roll the intro. So let's do that. Y'all didn't see that coming, did y'all? Y'all ain't see another good new intro coming real quick. We got two people that just jumped in the room. We're gonna get y'all settled up as we get into it a little bit. What's going on, fellas? So we're gonna talk a little bit about email side of things. Real important. I feel like a lot of people are missing the boat when it comes to understanding why they need to spend some time focusing and gathering emails from clients. I think it's really, really, really important that you start to think about that in the beginning as you grow the business, as you look to build this huge company. You got to start with gathering the right information, and the email address and some other things we're going to talk about is the way to do it. A lot of people think email is dead, but if you are going after corporate clients, guess what? They're forced to check email all day long. So on a personal level, email is a little more difficult, but on a client level, on a corporate level, that is not the case. So with that being said, real quick, for those who are not a gold member, we're going to go ahead and switch over because we got a lot of our gold members popping up, ready to chop it up. And sometimes we say stuff that we don't want all the way out here in these streets. We like to just keep it in house. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it get like that. But if you're not a gold member, you know what I'm saying? You got to, it is what it is. So I just wanted to say, peace to everybody that's watching on Facebook. We about to go ahead and lock it up real quick so we can chop it up. And we'll see y'all next Tuesday, but we're going to finish our little conversation real quick. So just want to say peace real quick so I can get to the gold members. Let's go. All right. Well, that's getting ready to wrap up. A few things I want to talk about. All right, we good. We in the gold section. A few things I want to talk about. Make sure I jump into before we fully open it up. Email is a big deal, right? Email is a big deal for corporate clients, and it will sway based on your niche, based off what I've experienced. Personally, if I'm trying to reach personal people, it's a little more difficult than somebody that's sitting at a desk jumping every time they Outlook makes a noise. When you go after clients that live in that environment, that live in corporate America, that have to answer emails, that have to check it, and emails are very effective in that sense. So it depends who your niche is. If your niche is a barber, guess what? Emails probably won't work as much as if you have somebody if you're going after somebody that's at a desk all day. So I'm not gonna say take it with a grain of salt, but evaluate your niche, who your target audience is, and then evaluate whether or not it's a great idea. Let's talk about what services I use for email. I'm currently using Mailchimp. I've used a few different ones. I like Mailchimp because it was easy, simple. It integrated into Squarespace. It integrates into Teachable, so it worked for me. And I like to send a onboarding email, which is usually a 4 to 5 part email series that kind of warms up the client, right? So the goal is usually when they join my email list or they become a client, and sometimes I had it on Squarespace when they submit a form, they get enrolled in this automation that usually talks about the company. It talks about why we're good. I usually send you testimonials. So I'm warming you up as I begin to get to work with you in this process. Mailchimp offers for a very inexpensive price. And I'm sure there's a few other companies that I'm starting to get a lot of emails about that are starting to do stuff a little cheaper that I am looking to consider as soon as I get time that offer something similar. But the goal for me was to have automation where they received an email within 2 days, and then they get another one within another 2 days, and then another one within 5 days, and another one a week from now, and maybe something on their birthday or something on their anniversary date or something like that I would normally set up. Where would I go? Like, where would I go to get the emails written? Of course, I like to go to Fiverr once I get with a writer that does a great job, not just writing great sales copy for email, but writing it in my tone. My tone's a little different. I'm not really, um, it's not as super polished, and I like it when it's not super polished. I got an email written by a lady who used quotes from Biggie, and I thought that was so dope because I can relate to it, and that is definitely something I would say. So little things like that, when you find a good writer you like to you like to kind of stick with, and they do a good job at writing it in a tone that is unique to the way you would talk to your clients. And if you, depending on what the business is, um you may have, your tone may be a very polished tone, but the tone I would use for FlashFilm Media is different than what I would use from FlashFilm Academy, because you guys are here because you know me. You have a relationship with me. So the tone needs to match my tone more. Whereas FlashFilm Media, they're hiring the brand, they're hiring the company. So the tone for the two different emails are usually completely different. But I like to go on Fiverr. I like to get my email series written. Then I like to implement it in my Mailchimp. And usually the email series for FlashFilm Media kind of it will update you or just talk to you about other features that we offer, like headshots and while they work. But those are usually later in the series. I like to give you an email about who we are, what we do. I like to send you an email with testimonials. Now usually the email list is specific to whatever you signed up for. So again, if you sign up for event videography, you're gonna get a different email batch of emails than you would if you signed up for event photography, or even if you inquired about our photo booth that we have. You'll just get different emails. Those different emails will probably start with the same one, talking about the brand, FlashFilm Media, our team, yada yada yada. Then it'll break off into 2 emails about that, about what we do, how long we've been doing it, why we feel like we're great at doing it. Then um I may go into testimonials from clients that's within that niche, that's within that service that they're requesting. From there, I may talk about other features we offer that are similar. Hey, you contacted us about live video. We also offer video streaming, yada, yada, yada. Here's some examples of some of the streaming that we can offer for you, and it'll usually end with a call to action. If this is something that you're interested in, or to add live streaming to your event, click here. And I usually do that, and then I'll have another one talk about another feature. Hey, add a steady cam, or add a a gimbal operator to your live event. So it's usually an add-on that I'm talking about, some a la carte items that I'm talking about that are either similar or um, relate to that event. For some reason, we do a lot of conferences and we do a lot of corporate event photography. We've had a lot of clients that want to, especially when it's for corporate use or like festivals or whatever, we've had a lot of clients that wanted to set up headshot booths so that people can get headshots. So we'll offer that. So it's just different things that will work out, and I'll go to my writer and say, hey, this is what I want to offer my client. This is what I want the emails to be about. And a lot of times writers will have great ideas for just the onboarding process. Writers will just, they'll have experience in understanding how to create. I've seen people get up to 30 onboarding emails that go out. The first one is after 2 days, the next one is after a week, and the next one is after, they'll go out and they'll go for a whole year, and they'll be pre-written emails that are just designed to just push in sales and turn leads into clients. Because you get a lot of people that may request something, and you may do business with them, you may not, but you want to keep them in that loop of receiving emails. Some of them are based on holidays. Like I can sit down with Mailchimp and I can write out all my holiday emails and just have them set to send on certain dates, and I don't have to jump on it, or I don't have to be reminded of it. It'll just automatically do it. So it's just automation and a great way to communicate with your client. And that's something I really want you guys to think about. The more you work with your niche, the more you work with your client, think, are they at their desk? Do they use Microsoft Outlook? Are they the type of client that needs to be around to receive every email from their boss or whoever? Those are things that you want to be mindful of as you determine if email is worth the investment, because it may not be, depending on what type of niche you're in. Like I said, you could be working with barbers. They're not going to check their email like that. So it's important. It's just something that's simple. It is a couple $100 investment when you talk about writing Mailchimp. If that can turn a lot of leads into clients, that can help clients, upsell, things like that. So it's something that you want to keep in your back pocket. And I tell you all the time, a previous client, it's a lot cheaper than acquiring a new client. And it's great to build that relationship and have that ongoing relationship. So something to definitely think about. Moving forward to season, if you're doing anything that's seasonal, I like to get my emails ramped up before the season so that we can go ahead and remind people, hey, Halloween's coming up. We cover Halloween parties, or Thanksgiving or holiday season, and you kind of get them going, because a lot of times they're like, oh, I forgot about it, or oh, we do need a photographer for that, or we do need a photo booth for that, or oh, we do need video for that. Conference season coming up, or whatever. Within your niche, you'll have seasons, and you can prepare them with the right email. So definitely something to consider if you're not currently doing it, and something to think about. So I know we got the guys on the call with us. Any questions about that, or any examples of things that you guys are currently doing with email? They're like, nah, don't email nothing. What's this email like? What is this email you speak of?
Yeah, one extra thing that I could add there, Ty, if I may, is, like, yeah, like I said, check it out. We moved away from Mailchimp. Automation's a little bit better, so it's easier to use, in my opinion. But with that, the other thing is, think of like lead magnets or any of that kind of stuff. So for anyone that doesn't know, we do a lot of those in our business. Obviously, we do more marketing and advertising and not just video. But one of the things is figure out like what your target market is, right? So if it's dentists, because I know you use dentists quite a bit, you can create maybe a simple PDF that they can download that talks about like top 5 trends that dentists can use as far as video goes, and they can download that, and now you're essentially helping them in that sales process. And if you essentially show them the value that you can have and position yourself as the expert, you can start on that email list and just have it as something that they opt in for, right? And those are all leads. There's somebody opts into that, they're looking at ways to use video in their business.
That's perfect. If you can't write it, get somebody off Fiverr, get somebody off Upwork to write it for you. That way you can get that taken care of for you. And it's just educating your client. The more you educate them, the more they know that you are the subject matter expert, and the more they trust you. And when they trust you and you can say, hey, you need this, you need that, you need this, they won't question it. They'll be like, let's do it. Same way you trust your doctor or your dentist right now. If your dentist coming to you and you say you need a root canal, you're not going to say, let me get a second opinion. You can probably say, all right, let's go. So it's just about building that trust. And, that same trust happened with your content creator. So something to definitely think about. Josh say the new intro always shocking. That's a different intro. Actually, it's my first time using that intro right there. That intro is a little, I'm keeping that one in my back pocket. Keep a few of them in my back pocket in 2021 because you don't know what you're getting.
I missed it.
Oh man, we may run it before we leave again. It was pretty dope. You guys doing any other type of marketing? Any other type of I got some interesting lives coming up. I don't even want to spill it, but I got some kind of mapped some stuff out for a few weeks, and I got some interesting gold lives that's coming up. Michael, what's going on, bro? You been all right? You don't been on that PlayStation, boy. I feel you. You got Spider-Man?
Calm down, sir. Calm down. Okay. Just because I haven't been here for weeks doesn't mean I was all doing this all the time. Come on, man.
That's what I would have been doing. I ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? I think Call of Duty is the truth.
Anyway, this is the contacts for the email. There's the ones that you get from the website, say your target audience. They have that email that you see from Google. And then I'm asking you is about the LinkedIn, because I'm thinking my target audience, I'm going back to LinkedIn. I want to try LinkedIn because LinkedIn seems like a direct approach. So their contacts are a little bit different. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, because I don't have anything with LinkedIn, but I want to establish a profile in LinkedIn for my company. And I was wondering if should I go that route or stick with what I know? Because I've been hearing you only get like usually the email contact is kind of like their company email. So it's like the first gate, it's not really the decision maker.
So I personally, I would add no one from LinkedIn to my email list, right? This is only for leads that come to your site that opt in. Only because if you start blasting people with emails that don't opt in, you'll be marked as spam and nobody will get your emails. Plus, how many companies randomly emailed you that you've never heard of that you've been okay with doing business with? Like they can be selling anything and you're like, I don't know about these guys. You know what I mean? So I don't go after people like that. It'll have to be people that have opted in, that's come to my site, that is submitted a form to do business with me. They will be a part of my automation. And you want to be careful with that because Outlook, it only take a few people to mark you as spam before everybody with Outlook is notated. Like whenever they get something from your email account, they're like, it's just going to the spam folder. So you want to be real careful with that. But on the other part, I would definitely set up a LinkedIn page. I don't think it will hurt. And then you can maybe approach people on LinkedIn about, what you offer, but I wouldn't integrate that with your email. Yeah. Have you had any experience with that, Tim? With the LinkedIn side of things?
Yeah. So one of our clients we're doing a lot of LinkedIn work for. The big thing that I will say is if you start an account, don't just go and like message somebody and be like, hey, I want to connect with you, and then send like, this is all the stuff that we do. LinkedIn is bombarded with that. And I hate that. Like, I don't know how many LinkedIn connections I get that's like, hey, I saw your profile and it was fantastic. And then I'm like, okay, cool, let's connect. And then they send me like 10,000 messages about whatever random thing they're selling. And I'm like, okay, no connection anymore, because I can't stand that. The big thing is usually a lot of people, right? Everyone says lead with value. To me, I'm like, actually go and make good connections with people. And our whole thing is I'm like, you want to connect with the people that are in your target market, right? Connect with them, see what they're doing, actually take the time and see if there's anything in there that you can help them with that doesn't require you or them to essentially pay you, right? Another way that you can get people on your list is, like I said, we've had some luck just being like, hey, we saw that, you are in XYZ industry. We wanted to connect with you. We work with a lot of people in that industry, helping them with video content. and put together, maybe a case study, right? And be like, hey, we created this case study, and I thought I'd pass it along to you to kind of show you some of the things that we're doing with our other clients or whatever, some video content. If you're interested, just let me know. If not, no worries, and don't send it right in that message. Get them to say, yes, I'm interested in that. Because if they don't say anything, then that's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big push. It's not any of that. You can always reach back out to them. You just don't want to have that bad taste in your mouth with that first encounter. And then if they do say, hey, yeah, can you send it over? Then I would just send them a link to where they can opt in for that case study, get their name and email, right? That's one way that we've kind of gone about doing some of that stuff on LinkedIn. But I will definitely say, just don't spam people, because nobody will like you on LinkedIn.
Because I can't think of, honestly, like I honestly can't think of a time where I got a message from somebody I didn't know on LinkedIn and I even cared. Like I just felt like it was a copy and paste. I felt like it was a, you know what I'm saying? Like, whenever I log into my LinkedIn account, I always got like 90 messages. And like, they've gotten to the point where it's like, happy birthday, or congratulations on your anniversary. Who do you have here personal health insurance through? I just want to connect. And I'm like, I just don't, I just haven't had good networking stories from LinkedIn. Not saying it's impossible, but I actually was looking to advertise on LinkedIn, like to do some pay-per-click, but it's so expensive. And LinkedIn is one of them things that you're told that it works, but we don't know nobody that like really lives on LinkedIn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know a lot of people that's like, I got to check my LinkedIn every day. Whereas you get like people on TikTok, or you know what I'm saying? You can just feel it. Or you speak to people that talk about it organically. I feel like when I talk to people about LinkedIn, it feels like forced. Like, yeah, I got one. Like, I'm on there, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the only, I feel like, big people in that is more in the tech industry. There's a lot more tech industry people that spend a lot more time on LinkedIn, but a lot of other like your local businesses, a lot of them aren't even on there. Like, some of those, they're not really on there. It is a bit hit and miss, and it really depends on your industry. And advertising can work really, really well, but you need to be in a more high ticket environment. Like, if you're selling something for $500 a piece, it's probably not going to really work out. But if you're looking at doing like higher end jobs, like I'd say like 10K and up, you can find some pretty good stuff, and there is a lot of potential in the ad platform. But like I said, you're gonna be willing to at least spend like maybe around $100 a day in ad costs. So like I said, it's not for the beginner in ads.
When I did research, it probably was like $250 a day when I was looking at it. Like, for the first few days to determine, it was crazy. But again, what I was thinking about doing was creating content specifically designed for a company. Like, we were going to create videos to go after, let's say, Johnson & Johnson. And I would create content to kind of like a video case study for them, and then only advertise to employees of Johnson & Johnson. Like that, I was thinking about being very specific like that. But again, at $100 or $250 a day, do I want to roll the dice on that? Or do I want to spread that money other places? And I think it depends really on your niche. If you are, like I said, in the tech industry, it may be worth your while. For me, it wasn't going to work for me.
Yeah, and you'd probably be better off actually taking that, even if you did the same strategy, and running that through Facebook or something like that, because Facebook's a lot cheaper in that sense. LinkedIn is just, like I said, it can get real expensive real fast if you don't know what you're doing.
I learned that.
And it is the most one of the most interesting platforms that I've worked on. But yeah, like I said, I think even if you were to take the same idea with Johnson & Johnson and did it more on Facebook, you'd probably have better results at a way lower cost. But it's just because there's also way more people on there, and it's a little bit easier sometimes to target.
That I agree with. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It was something that I was looking at thinking, it's business. I can reach companies direct, and it's a great place to look for information, but it's expensive. It's super expensive. So for me, it was a no-go. At the time I was looking at it, I can get so much more for YouTube. And I got to the point where I really, really, really started to understand my target audience. So I was just able to do so much more with less. So, George had a question. He said, what's good, y'all? Quick question. Went out and got some leads for beta clients. I know you said have 2 to 3 max. Of the 12 I reached out to, say 5 are interested. How do I narrow down my choice? Easy. Look at a few different things about the client, right? How long have they been in business? Are they successful? Those are the main things. You want to work with successful clients that have been in a business for a while so that they can give you legitimate, feedback. So that's the thing I would look at. If you got somebody that just opened up, they can't tell you a lot. You can't learn a lot from them. They can use your help, but you can't get what you need from them to be successful. Unless your niche is working with, new businesses, new companies and helping them get things going. And if that's your niche, if that's what you want to do, Kickstarters and things like that, then yes, that's perfect. But I like to work with established brands who name alone, on my page can help close other clients, and they have the facilities and they've invested in their company. So the footage that we capture looks great. They have the experience, so the feedback that they give is great feedback. That's just, for me, just how I feel about finding a beta client. But you're gonna get a lot of people that want your help. You just gotta be careful of it. Power Suit Productions found it horribly expensive. I do have some medical clients who help me by referring coworkers to me, and LinkedIn. Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn has its place, but marketing is a rough one. Elijah said he's in mining. You get more interaction on LinkedIn than any other social media page. Yeah, and mining, that's good to know if you are in that niche. There are some just hit or miss niches some are home runs and some are just strikes. So it's really, really, really good to kind of test out the water and just see if you are on LinkedIn and you communicate with a lot of people in your field of work and you found great jobs, then you may be in a niche that it works for. I just know for me, it was difficult finding clients who needed video, even though I knew my target audience that I could just get traction with. I can get in their inbox. It was just difficult for them to trust me. Whereas other places, it was easy. I can get them over to the website quick, and then we can go from there. And for me, also, I'm really big on being where your target audience is looking more than just popping up in people's inbox, right? I'm really big on trying to get where my audience is looking for help and being the top guy there. So my strategy is just a little different than bugging people and say, hey, we got video, we do this. So I'm just, my approach is just different than what LinkedIn has to offer. I just don't know in my industry or what I've learned. I don't see a lot of people going to LinkedIn to find somebody. In fact, I'm starting to see more people post on Facebook. Anybody know a good photographer? Anybody know a good videographer? So I'm starting to see that a little bit more. And Facebook, they're starting to create tools to embrace that. You'll see now if you post, do anybody know a good such and such? A map will pop up below the post. And they're bringing out new technology to help people, in that situation. So it's something to keep in mind, when it comes to marketing. You really, really, really got to be sure that your niche benefits from it, because if not, it's a whole lot of money. You to spend maybe $1,000 just trying to just establish your ads and get them going just to get analytics to make tweaks, you're $1,000 in the hole, where you can do that on Google in maybe $100, $200. So, you know, it's something to definitely think about. I know for me, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. Let's talk about, you know, how often, when you go to your email account right now, I know me, I'm always leery about how many emails I send to someone, but then I get 50 emails from Best Buy a day. And I'm never really mad about it. Like, I feel bad about sending emails because when people reply and they cuss me out, maybe I'm reading them or something. Because people do that. They don't just say stop. They'll just cuss me out. You know, but I get 20 emails and an app notification from Best Buy about everything on sale, from printer cables to stuff I've never bought. So, you know, I'm always leery about the amount of emails that I send, but what I've learned is I'm gonna blow up your inbox until I start to see a dramatic drop in subscriptions. And then I'll kind of gauge it from there. Mailchimp has a lot of tools that will allow you to kind of see where you're pissing people off at. So it's you know, there are some tools in place to help out with that. Any other great marketing hacks you guys are doing or looking into? Tim over there. Wait. I think. Oh, I like you was hitting your button.
Yeah. No worries. One of the things that I always recommend, especially if you're going to start doing emails, is to essentially go through and clean your emails. Now, I know that's kind of a odd term, but essentially what it is usually if you start seeing some drop off in your emails, you want to go through and essentially remove people from your list that haven't been engaging. And a lot of email marketing platforms have this now, where if people haven't maybe opened emails or haven't really looked at emails, clicked on links in emails after like 6 months or something like that, it'll essentially auto unsubscribe them. And the reason you want to do that is just so that you don't get put into spam. You're not irritating people. And like what you're saying with the whole Best Buy thing, to me, I think even if people aren't necessarily opening your emails, just by them being able to see your brand consistently pop up, you're more likely to do it, right? Because I know, like, who is it? I think it's Domino's. Domino's sends like 10,000 emails all the time. But anytime that I'm like, man, I kind of want pizza, they're the first ones I think of, because they're the ones that I see the most. Even though I don't open their emails, I just see their stuff like literally every day. They're the first ones that I think of, even though, you know, there may be a really good local place or whatever. Like, sometimes it's all about who is the first one to pop into your head. That's who you're probably going to go with, because there's less friction there.
Right. Do you have you ever been, like, there was times where I would go buy, back in the day, I would go on Fiverr and I would buy emails to all the dentists in Texas. Have you ever done anything like that, where you kind of the aggressor, like random email marketing like that?
We've done some. To me, it's a little hit and miss. The big thing is you don't want to go and buy emails and then put them in your autoresponder. To a degree, it's somewhat illegal. It's kind of a gray area in there, because if it's a business, technically, if it's a public listed email, anybody can email that. Now, you don't want to do that with like personal emails. If you do that, that's technically illegal. You can't buy that kind of stuff. The thing that has actually worked a lot better, in my opinion, is if you take those emails and then actually put them into, like, let's say Facebook, upload them and create a custom audience, and then show an ad to all of those email addresses. The big thing is if you can get phone numbers are a lot more accurate. And the other thing that I actually find works a lot better is voicemail marketing. I don't know if you've ever looked at any of that or know anything about it.
Never thought about it.
Really, the big thing is with voicemail marketing, it's exactly like email marketing, except you're sending a pre-recorded voicemail to somebody's phone. And the nice thing is you can go through and you can essentially get a list of all local businesses. and you pre-record a message, and you send it to them. And usually it's something like, hey, maybe we have a special going on like, we're doing animated logos. I don't know, right? Whatever you want. Usually I think of something that's like really easy to do, that's not super expensive, to kind of get their mouth wet in the sense of what you have to offer. And you just send them, a voicemail just saying, hey, this is what it is. We got XYZ amounts of these. If you're interested, give us a call back. If you're not, I hope you have a good rest of your day. And that's pretty much it, because one is everybody checks voicemails, because if you have a missed call, like, it's very rare nowadays that people call you, unless it's for your, car insurance or whatever random, your, all the random things. But usually don't leave voicemails. So if you have a voicemail, it's a little odd. So you're more likely to listen to it. We've seen better response from that than just cold email. It does work, but I just kind of get tired of sending like that is really a numbers game. Like sometimes it's like send 500 emails and get like maybe 1 to 2 responses. Voicemail, I feel like, is a little bit better, but
when I think of voicemail marketing, I think of the calls I get, and they're like, "We are trying to reach you about your car's warranty." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah."
That's what I think about when I get. One time I went on Fiverr, and like I said, I bought it was like 500,000 dentist emails in the state of Texas, and I didn't do a good job at cleaning the list, because I was getting, Texas is big, man. I actually got people to reply. I sent it out. You spend a ton of money on. See, I didn't know at the time Mailchimp charge you per like how big your list is. So I'm adding 500,000 people to a list, and Mailchimp like, yeah, cool. Your bill's $100,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to send it out, and my bill was outrageous, and I was, it was a lot I had to pay. But I ended up getting people who were interested, but I didn't clean the list, and they were like in El Paso, and I'm looking at the map like, oh, that's 12 hours away. Like I'm not. I got a guy that want to talk to me about video, but he's not close enough, and I've just wasted money. So, it is tricky. It's really tricky. So I just, that's a method I just cut off. But that was before I started learning about things like Thumbtack and, other services. Angie's List I tried for a minute. Went down the path of Yelp, thinking that maybe if I get listed on Yelp, it'll bring some business, and it was a waste of life for me, money mostly. But so there was just some things, just some hard lessons I learned, just dealing with finding new ways to market and get clients, and along that journey realizing that my demo reel was trash and my website was trash. So me spending all this money to get in front of people, I was getting 1 or 2 people, where if I focused on myself more and getting that together, I could have probably my conversion rate would have been a lot higher. But I just, back in the day, I thought, I've been doing this for 10 years and my camera shoots 4K and you should hire me. And I had nothing to show. So, that's just a growing pain you go through when it comes to building this brand and making sure that, or building your brand and making sure that you're building it for your audience and not just what you think it should be. So
yeah, a lot of the cold outreach, I to a degree feel like it is a bit dated, and it is a numbers game, and it's just increasing. Like sometimes, like I said, we don't really do a whole lot. We did at the beginning, and like I said, it's just like you said, it's hard because as a business owner, I don't know how many times I get calls and emails, and the ones that make me laugh are when a company calls and is like, oh, we want to do your marketing and advertising. I'm like, we have the word marketing in the name of our company. Why would I hire another marketing company to do our marketing? It's crazy. Like it's crazy. And that's the thing, is like a lot of cold outreach like that, to me, you just fall into those types of companies. right? And for us, like, I don't want to be known as that type of company that randomly calls people, that sends weirdo emails all the time. And that's why, like, to me, I would much rather, and I'm sure you're the same way, rather, if you do spend some money somewhere, have it where people are looking, right? Positioning yourself, you know, to be a lot better than, you know, the competition, that kind of stuff. And that's why, you know, like you said, like Thumbtack or those things, you know, if you do a lot of wedding stuff, there's a bunch of wedding registry websites and that kind of stuff. And it's like, that's where you need to be, not, you know, I don't know, doing whatever weirdo thing that's out there.
And I've gotten to the point where the only time I'm really using email is just for current clients, just to stay in the loop with current clients and stay in their ear and stay in front of them, just like Domino's did with you. Just, you know, making sure that your brand is in their face when they think about another event, another party, another training video, you know, whatever it is they do, you want to just make sure you're still, you know, they don't forget about you and have to look for you. And, you know, so like I buy domains from GoDaddy. I do it once a year, but they email me probably 3 times a week. Whenever I think of a domain, it's hard for me to think about anybody other than GoDaddy. And I probably have an email full of promo codes. So, you know, it's easy for me to think about them and then have a reason to use their services, because I got 20 or 30% off somewhere in my email that's waiting to be used. So that's, yeah, for me, email is the way to go for old clients. And in the future, we're going to talk a little bit more about like text messaging and just other methods of reaching people. But again, for me, I use these methods to retain and just stay in the mind of my clients and not to go after new clients. Cause I just, again, you know, like I said, it hadn't been a lot of success. I like my best method of meeting clients is, number one, is being where they look, or two, walking in, speaking to someone. I've just sometimes when business is super, super slow, I will find everyone that's in my niche in my area, and I will just spend the day, if I have an empty day on my calendar, and just walking in and just meeting people. So kind of doing the same, leaving some type of literature, some type of card, speaking with people, maybe getting a card from them so I can contact them in the future. And then I go from there. But, and another place I used to live is, and I used to get a lot of clients from being on Thumbtack, and you get people that didn't reply or jobs you never got. They let you communicate with them forever. And I would always communicate. I would always send stuff like, hey, I know you guys are busy. You know, it's January, but I just want to let you know that we're still available to help you guys with any video need you may have in the future. Or, you know, it's the time of year where, you know, people are usually updating their headshots, and I want to let you know we're running a promotion right now on headshots. And this will be from clients that never replied, or they chose another client. I just still have access to their message box, and I would create a copy and paste, and I would spend, you know, 3 hours a week just going after it and just sending messages, and just going deep into my Thumbtacks, and I would get all kind of jobs from there. I would get people that's like, oh, we had to put it on the back burner, and now we're ready to do it again. Thanks for contacting us. Yeah, can we set up a call? And I would get a ton of clients. I want to say maybe 20 to 30% of my clients were like rehashes from Thumbtack. They were just clients that went cold turkey, or they just fell off the face of the earth, or I lost. I would continue to just send them messages, and they would do business with me.
Quick question on that. 20 to 30% of them might have been rehashed, but how much revenue was that percentage wise? Was it like 50%, 20%?
I'm gonna say probably 30 to 20%. Probably, when I did the math one year, I think it was like an additional $40,000, something like that. $30,000 to $40,000 that were just, I call them diamonds in the rough, that were just found in old clients that were just, they didn't reply at the time, and I would set time on my calendar. In fact, I used to do it Tuesday mornings between 10 and 12. and I would go back and just, and I had a series of copy and paste. So my initial greeting, then I had a follow-up greeting on Thumbtack to say, hey, haven't heard from you guys. Just want to check with you or touch base with you to see if you guys were still working on this project. If so, I really love to help you guys with it. And then I had like a follow-up email that was like, hey, I understand, this time of year is extremely busy. No rush. I just want to let you guys know that whenever you're available or ready to move forward with this project, I'd love to be a part of it. Here's my information. And then I have one that I would go back like months later, like, hey, it's been a few months. I hope all is well. Just wanted to let you know we're still here. So I would have like a series of copy and paste that I would use, I would use for like Thumbtack. And for your single guys, they work on dating sites too.
Had to get that dating analogy, didn't we?
I got you. Yeah,
always.
I do it for Jay over here in the Playboy mansion setup he got over there. So I had to look out for him.
He got that Playboy bunny robe on, don't he?
He do. Let me get him on the big.
There you go.
I'm just here to learn about extending my car warranty. That's all I'm here for.
Shut up. Silly rabbit.
I can see that. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, goodness.
So marketing is tricky, but a small investment with some automation will help you, because you don't want to have to send every email. Like, you want to kind of set it and forget it, especially when you're a smaller company. You don't want to have to be glued to you. You don't want to dedicate time to it. You want to be able to set it up, and anybody who joined your email list can get the automation, or you can set it up. And like, I usually, the company that I'm testing now, and I haven't really talked much about them, which is Flocksy, which does video editing, copywriting, web design, everything. I've been kind of on them, getting them to write a lot of emails, because I want to kick out a lot of emails. So I'll have them write a lot, and a lot of blog posts. So I have been just working with them to have their writers just create content in that sense for me, especially on days or times where I don't have video for them to edit. Like, you're still paying them, where are you going? Like, I need y'all to do something. So I got to put y'all to work to do something. So, that they're a service that I'm kind of working with and just testing them out. I've been using them for about 4 months now. And like I said, they're a little bit cheaper than Video Husky, but they offer a whole lot more. They do graphics, writing, explaining videos, and everything. What'd you say?
I was going to say, what's your thoughts on them? We use them for quite a while to help in our agency anytime we needed just some extra hands and stuff. I'm just curious of what you think so far of them. Like I said, I know a lot has changed since I originally started with them. I think we started like right whenever they launched their company. I know a lot has changed since then, so I'm just curious of your thoughts.
It's been okay. The only thing that I don't like about, and let's get the bad out the way first. The only thing I don't like about Flocksy. So really quick, let me explain. So Flocksy is like Video Husky. It's a company you pay a fee of like $4.50 a month. They do video editing, copywriting, web design. They do a lot of stuff. And they're kind of your go-to company. Like, if you want to explain a video, if you want a voiceover, you can go and submit a ticket, unlimited, but you can only do one project at a time. So you can submit 50 projects. They'll just knock one out at a time. And I've used them for like video editing and stuff. The bad thing I don't like is and I don't have an issue with it, just to be honest about it. They're like, oh, we're a company, we're based in America. You can always get somebody in America working on it, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, your account manager is, but then they're sending it off to an editor that's somewhere. And then you're having issues with translation or like understanding, when you're like, hey, I need this edited, that cut right after the funny part. And they like, I don't know what you're talking about, because words you may use don't directly translate. And usually that account manager is on it, but I've had times where it's just been difficult. That, and I had one major problem with Flocksy that almost made me stop working with him. I had submitted a video to be edited for my YouTube channel. And it was, I usually only send like, whenever I do a Flash 5, so I'm like reviewing something because it's really simple, I send those videos. And I had a video that didn't come back on time. And I had to keep working with the guy, and it finally came back on time. And somebody, once I posted the video to my YouTube channel, somebody posted in my comments that, hey, I edited this video and I never got paid for it. And I'm like, what? I edited this, some guy who was from some other country. He said, I edited this video. The guy was supposed to pay me. I never got paid. So I contacted Flocksy. So I told him, I was like, all right, hit me up on Instagram. Let me get your information. Let me go contact Flocksy. So, I deleted everything and did that. And the guy was like, yeah, I'm over here. A guy said he was going to pay me to edit it. I edited it. I never got my money. He ran off, yada, yada, yada. Well, I contacted Flocksy, and Flocksy was like, we never heard of this guy. So obviously the guy who Flocksy hired delegated it off to somebody else to edit it. And then he kept the money and never gave that guy stuff. And because he edited for my YouTube channel, he knew what my channel was. And he came directly to me. Like I was the one who was like not paying. So it was that rubbed me wrong. And that almost made me cancel my Flocksy. Like, but they were like, we're sorry, we're gonna do this for you. We're gonna do that for you. And I was like, that's not a good look. So the guy ended up never getting paid. From what he said, he never got paid for it. I'm like, well, you feel bad because I'm paying Flocksy. I'm not about to cut you a check. Like that's between whatever route, you went through. So it kind of, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, I know that some of those, like even people on Fiverr have that problem where like if you sign up, they're like, oh, I'll do an edit for $100, and then they go and essentially pay someone else on Fiverr to do it for $50. And it just gets a little crazy sometimes, which is kind of unfortunate because it's like you shouldn't be selling, a service that you can't even do, or you don't even like, I don't know, like to me, I'm like, I understand the middleman principle, but I'm like, but you still can't just, I don't know. People are crazy sometimes. I'm like, really? Come on, people. Get with it. Like, yeah. So, I mean, I never had really a lot of problems. We just never, like I said, obviously in our agency, we started with them, and then we do have some other people that we've worked with, more like local guys, that kind of stuff. It's a little bit easier sometimes. But yeah, I was just curious of how your experience has been with them so far, because I've kind of been back and forth between them. I've also looked at Video Husky, but I've never done any work with them either. And that's more for like some of our content that we're coming out with. So I was just curious on that.
Video Husky was decent. What I like about Video Husky is they're very upfront that they're in, I think, Taiwan, or I forgot where they're at, but they have a small group of editors. So the chances of you getting the same editor is a lot better than on, I feel like Flocksy just has like 3,000 people at their disposal. And like, you may get a really good job one time, and then you may not get that same quality the next time. And they used to let you like load in, hey, I need these 10 videos edited, and then it'll go to one guy. And now they're like, nope, the max you can do is 3. So I may get 3 really good videos and then 3 bad videos. So it was just, that
yeah,
part,
Yeah, I never used them for any video editing work. We did some stuff with like some graphic work and like some of that stuff, like some copy work. Like anytime like we're too busy or whatever, and I was like, we just need somebody else to kind of do some of this. And then obviously we still take it and kind of modify some of this stuff. But yeah, I never had them really do any. So, but yeah, that's interesting. Definitely to keep in mind for sure.
Yeah. Mike, I think you had a question, Mike. He said, yeah, it's on you, bro.
Yeah, it's regarding that. I know my bottleneck is editing, and I'm still trying to learn it, but I want to, I have so much hours in a day, and my question to you is, as a one-man band, do I just bite the tongue and, you know, maybe take the chance that it might be a bad quality product, or through this editor that whether it's Fiverr, Flocksy, or Video Husky? Like, do I take, because if I do it on my own, then I'm not putting my resources in marketing somewhere else. You know, you only have so much time in a day. So as a one-man band, do I just, okay, if someone's paying me, should I just take the outsource to editor and just hopefully, like a lottery, I might get a good, you know, good editor?
And this is the thing. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you what I would do. I would spend a little personal money before you rely on a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? To find you an editor on like Fiverr. Because once you get one that you really like he's solid. Like I got a Fiverr editor. I got 3 Fiverr editors that are on different levels. I got a $20 editor that is, you get what you get. He's solid. He'll come through. If it's just putting some simple stuff together, no problem. I got a $100 editor and I got a $500 editor. So it just depends on what level. If I'm working with a big client, it's a big budget, I'm gonna go with my $500 editor because I got the budget, I got the room, I got the profit margins, and I want it done right. So it just depends on if it's a YouTube video right now, because it's not as profitable as, shooting for Samsung. I'm gonna probably go with a $20 editor. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on, or I'll edit it myself, but it just depends on the job. That for me, that's how I make that determination. But once you get a good editor, I rock with them all day. I don't switch it up and roll the dice with somebody new every time. Same thing for writers and copywriters. Like the copywriters and editors that I got links to on FlashFilm Academy are the actual people that I've worked with, and they're my go-to people. So like even like some of the copy for the master course, like I went to that's the same copywriter that's listed on the site that I go to for things that I may do for either my website or like for a client, and I just use the same guys over and over again. And sometimes even if you get really cool with them and you work with them a lot and y'all step outside of Fiverr, you'll get a better rate because you're not splitting it. But that's I get somebody and it's like a barber. I get them and I just rock with them. Good editors are like good barbers. Y'all said it. Yep. All facts. So, it just depends. It just depends on, it just depends on sticking with the right person, getting the right person and just sticking with them. And they'll be, my editors they're super cool. Like they'll hit me up on WhatsApp. You got anything for us this month? And I may have some on my desk. Like, you know what? Yeah, you can take that one. So, it's kind of, that way it's not hit or miss. I know what I'm getting. I got no problems. And I've referred lots of people to my editors. Like I have friends who want, you get people come to you like, oh, I got all this video on my phone of my son's basketball game. I want you to edit it. And you're like, man, I ain't got time for that. Like, you're going to give me $50 to do it. And I got to go through 8 hours. It's just not profitable for me. However, I can refer you to somebody. And then I'll refer them to my editor guy that do, $20, $30 an edit. And he's super happy, because wherever he is, it's just worth more. And then he's willing to do more for me next time I show up. So it's just about the relationship. Just something to keep in your back pocket.
Yeah, and one of the other things that we've done is, before you, like what Ty said, don't just hire someone on a client project and hope that it's going to work. Actually just have like if you're doing your demo reel, like any of that stuff, like have someone else edit it. And I would just go and pick I'm going to pick these 3 editors and they're all going to edit the exact same thing. Pay the money for it, but then you can really start comparing and contrasting what kind of styles you like, that kind of stuff. And then, once you find somebody, just stick with them as much as possible. And yeah, that's one of the things that we've done in the past with some video editors, or especially like a lot of voiceover actors. We'll do the same thing. We'll send it to like 5, 6 different voiceover actors when we first started, and now we have like 2 or 3 based on like what we need. And then the same thing is once we have those, we take some of those samples and then we can share those with clients, and then they can kind of pick through, and it makes the process a little bit easier. But yeah, at the beginning, just bite the bullet, eat that cost. At the end of the day, it's a tax write-off, right? Because it's a business expense for you. So that's really how we kind of look at some of those things too.
And you got to keep in mind that editors, just like barbers, right? They got to get to know you, right? Your barber now knows that your line do all this weird, but in the beginning, he probably took it back just a little bit. Like, it just take time to learn you. And editors are the same way. It take time for them to know how you like things cut, how you like things edited. So it may not be till project 2 or 3 until they really nail it. And you're like, okay, we got each other. We're on the same page. I want to continue to work with these guys. And just like your barber, the first cut may be okay, and by like cut 3 or cut 4, it's A1. And then he may have a bad day. You never know. Mike, you had another question?
No, he answered it. It's just you're right. It's just I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and just take just bite the bullet and use my resources and finances to just find the one that's right for me.
And the good thing about that, though, is once you move forward, you have your favorite editor down, you'll know what the cost is. So you'll know what to charge. You know what I'm saying? So you'll know, I want to go with the $300 editor, not the $50 editor. So to charge, over $300 for editing. You know what I'm saying? So you'll have that in your head and you're not guessing. So there's something to keep in mind once you build that relationship, and just have them edit some simple stuff. Have them start maybe editing shots that you may go do for a beta client. Have them edit some shots that you took, some behind the scenes shots of one of your headshots with the beautiful ladies by the beach out there. Unless you need me to come film it with the beautiful ladies, you just let me know. I'm out there. You know what I'm saying? So
just to let you know, Washington has locked us down till whenever, so we can't even do like if it's like not even 25% capacity, we can't even do that. Like, it's basically locked down. We're in literally, like, if you're not in that same household, you can't gather.
You in Washington State, right? Not DC, right?
Yes, Washington State.
Oh man, I'm about to wear my mask and come on. I got some pull in DC. I can get some stuff moving, but Washington State.
People still do it. People still do it. Like, I mean, you see it on the Facebook posts.
Yeah, I hear
like that. Yeah, but I just don't want to take the chance.
Yeah, do what we got to do. Have y'all seen his IG page? You know what I'm talking about. I'll be out there like these. Shoot, if it was DC, I know some people. I still got a clearance. So
I bet you could. I'm just saying, right now is I'm doing what you said, the quote that you had. I'm doing like Jason. I'm taking it slow. This is a good time got your module 1. I'm reading up what I can, and I'm actually practicing the things here. I have all the equipment that I want, so not like that, but what I initially have, and I'm just practicing, fine-tune my equipment. I'm actually liking my EOS R. I'm not even thinking about the C70. I'm actually liking the EOS R. And you know what? I'm adapting to the crop sensor. Like, I'll just move back a little bit more, and it's still a good view. So
shooting beautiful subjects. So you really the crop sensor gets you like closer. So it's good. You know what I'm saying? I got a message. Real quick, Josh says, are most of your editors on Fiverr from America? No, they're not. They're not from America. Look at that. Show that real quick.
I didn't want to put them on blast like that, so my bad. But no, there's some high quality H2O in these pictures. Yeah, you know what? I'll put you on blast.
Yeah. Viewer discretion is
calm down.
There you go.
Whatever you see.
Look at that. Oh yeah, look at
that. No. And he's equal opportunity. He does guys too. So
look at that. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Got your stuff muffin right here, right? No shirt, all flexed. He does straight up good work, man.
Hey, you looking at
there's somebody else Instagram channel you need to check out here. I'm gonna throw him on a big screen because he's chilling. But that's there's some other Instagram channels you need to see that's real similar to that. But I ain't gonna throw a man under the bus like that because we got. But that's all I'm saying. Just
Drop the name, please. I need to investigate. Drop the name.
Need to investigate real quick.
You know what? I gotta do the same thing. Let me look at that. Hold on.
You may want to check that out. I'm just, my goal is to make sure we network, with each other, guys, and everybody. You just follow everybody on the gram, and we just,
I need to know, is this guy handle? Is this guy handle?
So feel free to, you guys, there's a window right there. You can, you can post it, you can post your IGs, everybody, and even watching and all of that. You can, post your IGs. We can just trade IGs real quick while we're here. I think
I'm just gonna say, Ty, and I apologize for the interruption with breaking news. Mr. One Click Imaging, I sit on the beaches of Panama, I believe it was, with chickens in the background and just nature all around me. Quality work, my man. Quality work. Another equal opportunist, but this is we got some amazing skill sets on this team. That's all I'm gonna say. Amazing. Like I said, equal opportunity. We got Brother Man in the middle, looking good. Got some nice stuff going on there. I know I need to get my phone's jacked up, so I apologize about that big old light bleeding through.
Good.
This is and this is like, I mean, dude, the sunset in the background, dude, with this lady. That's
not this lady. That is the lady.
Oh, that's your lady.
That is the lady.
That's your queen? Oh man, that was a perfect capture. That's all I'm saying. A perfect capture. Sunset, the queen in the front. Beautiful work. Beautiful.
Can you guys hear me?
And we got to we got to throw somebody on the big screen real quick because somebody quietly just posted their IG in here. Quietly, make sure you check out that. It's in the private chat if you're in the room. Yeah, he's an equal opportunity lender as well. Real nice work there. So I just want to, you're quiet, but we're gonna give you some love. Both sides either way. So make sure you definitely check out his IG. We gotta make sure we get a love in the room. But it's some good, it's some interesting Instagrams here. I just want to let y'all know I do watch. Don't think I'm just setting up an Instagram page and I don't be following people back or looking. I'll be watching. There you go. Get them on the big screen. There you go. Okay. So
again, equal opportunity. Beautiful work.
Beautiful work.
Should be celebrated. Beautiful work.
Right. That's right.
Wonderful work.
If you didn't want to show it shouldn't be on Instagram. Beautiful work. That's all I'm saying.
Beautiful work.
Beautiful though. Straight up. Beautiful work. Beautiful composition, colors, lighting, everything. Just the moments captured. And these are the kind of photos I like right here. So old girl here at the bottom. I love those like lifestyle type of photos and videography. Just kind of catch them in a moment, laughing, being themselves. That's
what else we got down here? So we want to make sure we definitely.
Hey, Mike, what's yours?
I'm sorry.
What's your IG?
Michael Mejo's photo.
Oh, wait a minute. We got something going on right here. Mr. JC Raw Media. Let's put you on the big screen real quick because I'm on your IG page and it's looking real good out here.
Appreciate it.
Real good. We got some real interesting subject matters out here looking real, great work, guys. Great work. Y'all, even though y'all posted them in the private, y'all can post them in the regular chat. We got some people that want to in the regular chat that want to follow y'all. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna let y'all do it. Wait, let me get my caption right here. Okay.
The photos and videos expressed within this Gold Member Live are not endorsed by.
That's right.
This I'm just gonna say, Jay, dude, this right here, that one for me, that says it all. Oh man, hold on.
Which one?
See better here. These two.
We need to have a live where we just talk about images that we've taken and just kind of breaking down, what we went through, what we were thinking. Because I like a lot of content you guys put out. And I think it'll be beneficial to viewers to see, just where you were mentally when you created it, what you were thinking about, maybe lighting, time of day, things like that.
That would be cool. That would definitely be cool.
Bro, you can just go for it whenever, bro. You don't gotta raise.
I'm just old school, man. Yeah, you gotta raise your hand.
I just like listening with you.
No. I just like lately, before the whole COVID thing, I've been trying to shoot behind the scenes to know that it's me actually taking the photo, to know like, hey, that's me, not some stock photo, and it's actually me taking that photo. Because that's how if those later shots is like, hey, I like what you're doing with your behind the scenes, and that's actually you actually taking the photo, and they see my personality and stuff like that. So I have to hand it to you about the behind the scenes. Again, I'm preaching. No, you're preaching what you're teaching. What's that saying again about preaching what you teach or something like that? Or?
Yeah, like that. It's teach what you preach or preach.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, bro. I know what you mean. I can't say that either. I feel you. Behind the scenes is big, man. It's really big for your client to see it start as a mess and come together, because in their mind they're in a mess trying to get a problem solved. So it's great for them to see it come together. It's just like the analogy that I always use is Subway. They do a good job at making you feel like you're leaving with a fresh sandwich because they build it in front of you, even though that cheese been out there for 2 days, and you just feel like it's fresh just because they build it right in front of you. It just feels that way. And that's just, they've kind of, I don't want to say coined that, but that's been their thing. You would be leery about a sandwich that's not built in front of you. You're kind of like, somebody go in the back and they come out with your sandwich. It's just weird nowadays. It's just the norm to see it come together. Oh, we got somebody getting attacked. We just be careful over there. Okay, there you go.
That was my queen that was rolling through, and she don't like to be on camera, so I had to kind of force that one. My bad.
I'm trying to see what it is. I can barely read it, Tim.
So this book right here, Contagious, definitely gonna read this book. It talks about a lot of that stuff in there. Like I said, just read this year. Read it just a few days ago.
Perfect year to read it.
Yeah. This is fantastic for sure.
Who writes
Not
it?
About diseases.
Oh. Who writes the
No, it's I'll go ahead. I'll put it in the chat there, but essentially what it's about is why things catch on. So like what makes things viral, what makes people consistently go and continuously buy things. Like I said, fantastic book for sure.
I may have to add that to the list. I may jump on that this week because I'm searching for more books. I think I done read my personal MBA about 3 times, and I like to. It's time to jump on something different.
Hey Ty, I got a quick question, totally off topic.
Okay.
In the contract that you have that we got with the beta testing, you had a portion in there about reshooting. Like the percentage you would get for a reshoot. What do you recommend I put in that part there?
So I usually give. It'll range between usually 20 to 50% for a reshoot, depending on if it's something that is an issue with us. I'm gonna shoot it for free.
Yeah, that one you have is free. Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes you have clients. It's like, I don't like the way my makeup look. I'm like, well, you walk past 6 mirrors, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So I usually give a 25% discount for something like that, but I don't want to make it extremely easy or you'll be back. I want to make sure we make profit from it first off, because they will just wear you out if it's too cheap.
Right.
That's to be conscious of, like, I'm doing you a favor because I like you and we're in the middle of a project, but I don't want you to just keep hitting this button. So I try to attach some pain to it for them, and that sounds weird, but I don't mean pain, but you want to make sure it's profitable for you. You want to make sure if they want to do a research shoot, you're like, cool. This is the price. They know the price. Let's do it.
Now that original deposit that you kept for the first shoot, you keep that, right? That doesn't go back no matter what.
Correct, because that's a retainer. It's a non-refundable retainer. Yep.
Right. So, and then the reshoot, they have to start all over. I need another deposit. And I would say a 75% of what the original shoot was.
So for me to give you the discount on the reshoot, it would have to be before we finalize the project.
Right.
It couldn't be we're done, and then if we're done and a week later you like, oh, I want to do something different, we're starting a whole new project. So usually with a reshoot, we'll add up what the cost will be. Let's say a 2-man crew for 4 hours. I know the base price is this. I know the 3 other hours is that price. 75% of that, and then we're going to add that on to the remaining balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I got a beta client, which I'm going to, go through the whole process with. Actually, a nice cigar shop. So I'm going to see how it works out. So see how it goes. I just wanted to make sure everything was right in my contract when I did give it to him. From start to finish, I told him from the time I walk in the door, my appearance, everything. And I want you to give me feedback on every aspect of his experience with me as, as he purchases what I have to offer.
What's great about a cigar shop is, and I'm a big fan of cigars myself. You can get dope video, which is slow motion and just smoke and just the cigar shops always have really nice dramatic lighting.
Yes, I love it. He has dramatic lighting. Yeah.
And it's so much you can do on the photography and videography aspect. Like I never thought about, as much as I love cigars, I never thought about filming one. And I think I would just have fun filming.
Oh man. As soon as I walked in there, I was like, man, I could do so much in here because he has like a gold and black layout in the place. And, that's a great color combo. And it's a nice, atmosphere in there. It's very modern, very chic almost type of atmosphere. And when I walked in there, I was just like, oh my God, I can go crazy in here, man.
And most movie sets, they're spraying mist and fog to get the look, and the cigar shop has that look.
Yeah.
So that's I never thought about that, but that would be dope. That would be some great footage.
Man, that's a good idea. I got atmosphere in a can too.
Yeah, I got some too. I got some actually.
Yeah. So,
but that's all the atmosphere you need is there, especially if
yeah. But that's a good idea. Yeah. So
but
that was it. Thanks, man. Got it.
That should make some dope content. You made me want to go to my local cigar shop and film some stuff. Give me a case of these, and I got you. Like, so we definitely do that. So we got Ronnie just jumped in. What's going on, Ronnie? Man, make sure you post your if you got an IG page, man. We're just sharing them with everybody. Just get your followers, your subscribers up and stuff. Make sure you post it. We'd love to see it.
Please bring caution.
Yeah, some of these, make sure you some of these IG pages you got to be over 13, over 16 to look at. But
please bring caution. I just went down a rabbit hole. I just got back. Problems.
What you say?
I went down the rabbit hole. I just got back.
Yeah. Probably Michael's IG page. With some of them pages, you make sure that when it's an upload, you're notified of it. But wait till the summertime. That's when it really get crazy.
Yo, Michael, what's your IG page, Michael? What's your IG?
Yeah, I was on it last year.
Sorry, Michael Mejos Photo.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, get ready. Everybody about to be quiet.
It ain't like one click. Come on, man. I'm just doing like normal stuff, man.
You see how everybody looking down at
everybody looking at their phone right now. I'm supposed to be hosting a whole show right now. And everybody
Yo, that's the future, man. Everybody looking down at their phone. We're all gonna have neck problems, man.
This is true. Hopefully I can get the glasses so I can Give Michael a little love here on the. I don't even know if I could. Let me see if I could. There we go. Let's see if we can get a little. I got my shallow depth of field.
Real love. Thank y'all. I appreciate that.
There you go.
I appreciate that. I'll follow each and every one of y'all, but I appreciate that. Like I said, I've been doing it for 15 years, and I've been doing it as a hobby. So I'm just trying to do this, trying to get that bag, man.
Let me go ahead and speaking of getting that bag, yeah. Shout out to Michael doing his thing right there. But we're gonna check with that later. I'm gonna get that in my pocket. See that on that screen right there. But nothing wrong with that, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. You just we gotta throw a Corona in her hand and you good to go. You hitting. That's what I would be doing. Next time you got to shoot, I would find a product and pop it in the hand. And
definitely. That's what's gonna happen. I'm like I said, I'm already thinking about this like 2022. I'll be frank with y'all. It's gonna be 2022. I don't see it dying anytime in the summer. Yeah. That's all. I'm hoping for the best, and I'll follow each and every one of y'all, and wish you guys well.
Would that mean you're gonna move from beaches to like bathrooms? Like
oh man, bro.
I just want to know, you
get in trouble. You gotta get me in trouble.
No, but okay, I'll be on the lookout. Cut my notifications on. Make sure.
So you're not coming to the FlashFilm barbecue?
Yeah, he got it. Now you're talking in sign language because you don't want to. It's all good. It's all good, brother. Like, that's right, Josh on it. You're right, Josh. I'm sorry. I got to remember. I got to remember. So yeah, about this marketing thing going on here. Yeah, make sure you guys are marketing with email marketing. We got to get a code word so we can just Rodney got the double blink. Where he at? He got the double blink. I know when Rodney double blink, we just got to change the subject.
No, we good. We good.
Or he do that, and I know we got to.
Yeah, if you see this, yeah,
we got to talk about.
Boss is in the house. She's doing her thing right now. So
you go straight to a thumbtack. So thumbtack, you want to make sure you real quick.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, how do you respond again? Where do you find the message section in Thumbtack again, Tyler?
Yeah, it's the section over by the you hit the message button. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Have any of you guys who's getting business off Instagram? Anybody utilizing like the business side of it? Anybody pushing a lot of? I use an app to generate my hashtags, which has helped my Instagram grow. But I don't really. Instagram for me has been a great place to. It's been a great place to keep up with past clients for me. I haven't gotten a lot of new business off Instagram. Unless I market. If I use it to market, I had a 60-second version of my demo reel that's vertical that I'll market. And it's been doing great. I've been doing a lot of if you've seen the shorts on YouTube, I've been taking those shorts and I've been using them as reels and stories on both TikTok and on Instagram, which has been getting a little traction. On TikTok, if you're over 16, you can forget about it. Like they don't want to see you. Like, so it's just rough.
I just use Instagram to play around on, man. Just that's all I do. Nothing serious, Yeah,
it's only so unless you have paid advertising. And you got a shop now button. It's difficult to do just on Instagram. I love it as a component of Facebook if you're doing Facebook marketing, and they can extend the audience that you're going after to the same audience on Instagram. I found some success doing that. Tim, how about yourself? Do you guys do a lot of Instagram, or is it mostly just the Facebook side of things?
No, we do Instagram. Really, we look at them as two different platforms because actually Instagram, like you said, more vertical videos actually work a lot better. Facebook, surprisingly, a lot of like square videos. So like a 1080 by 1080 tends to work a lot better. But for like a lot of our clients, like I said, Instagram has a very specific market to it. But there is, like, if you are doing advertising, a lot of the stuff that I talk about is actually spending money on advertising, just because with Facebook, Instagram, that kind of stuff, it's only when you post something, only about maybe 2% of the people that actually follow you may actually even see that post.
Yeah.
Right. And it's based on how much engagement, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff. For us, like as an agency, though, our Instagram page, don't look at it. It's not very great, but that's just not our focus as an agency. But for like client stuff, and I think even as like a content creator, or if you're doing a lot of photo work, I think really being able to tap into some of those lifestyle photos and that kind of stuff, if you can show, especially influencers, a lot of them always are looking to one up each other. So if you can really put your work in front of them, and I think, you know, by being able to spend some money on that, thankfully, at least with Facebook and Instagram, you can start advertising as little as $5 a day. Now, don't expect to make like $10,000, right? But even just being able to kind of push your stuff out there a little bit more has really good results. And yeah, I mean, some of the clients, of course, we have clients ranging in all kinds of different price points. So it just really depends on what you're kind of wanting to do. But yeah, definitely, I think that if you're looking at Instagram advertising, we really try to look at it as its individual thing, because like I said, even just like video formats, image formats, some of those things are a little bit better. The other thing is all of the ads that we run on Instagram are usually 15 seconds or less. And the same thing is if you put those on Facebook, it's because if it's 15 seconds or less, those videos will actually loop for it. It's almost about 2 minutes. And the thing is you can just having those visual elements get more people to stop scrolling. So those are just a few little like things to consider if you're doing that kind of stuff. So like I said, that's all of our entire world. So I can talk for like 10,000 years on all of that stuff. But.
Yeah, I've used Instagram some on marketing, like contracts and stuff like that. Hold on, let me get with Rodney real quick. See, think about real quick and make sure I'm, you know what I'm saying? Make sure. Quick question, Bay. I've seen you've had some of your Instagram posts were kind of dope, where it seemed like the model was like stepping over the bar or like out of the. How did you do? If you take a look at One Click Image, and he has some great Instagram photos where it's an effect where the model is like stepping off the page. What made you do that? Did you like buy a template, or did you just decide to do it? Or
no, you just take a picture, just take a picture of the Instagram layout that you want. Oh, there was a template. So I did buy a template. No, I didn't buy a template. I downloaded a template, and I just overlaid it. The photo and on top of it. Let me see if I can find. I know which ones you're talking.
I got one right here. I can show them an example of. Let's see, like that's an example of one.
Yeah.
And that's pretty dope. Like those things like that make me stop scrolling to see.
I have, and you know, I have one with my wife holding a gun, and they flagged that one.
Yeah. I'm pretty used to.
Yeah, that one.
Like, I'm from Detroit, so that was common. It happened all the time.
Yeah,
but I just thought it was dope, just to, you know, let me see if I can get this one to work.
Yeah, that's my favorite one right there. Yeah.
But those just make me stop scrolling immediately. I'm like, am I tripping? I think this one is my favorite one. Wait, let's see if I can get that. Oh, I forgot the A7S is looking at my face. Oh, you don't want to say that text. Gotta give me. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's wifey. She don't like taking pictures too much, but you know.
You said she don't?
No.
I have a contract. Like if you're my wife, you're my #1 model all the time. You got to get ready. But those are just great. Those are just the things that I noticed that just popped out at me, and it's crazy because as we talk about Instagram, is something that just jumped in my head and just remind me of just little things like that'll make me stop to scroll. That's the most important thing, is trying to help people, get people to stop scrolling and take a look at things you're doing. And I was thinking about doing something similar to that on Facebook. because I love the advertisement on Facebook where it's like a shark or something, and it swim between two ads or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty dope.
They have that the same thing on Instagram where it goes down to the next post. You know, it comes down to the next. It's a cool layout the way they do things. I mean, I just thought it was an eye-catching thing. You know.
Yeah, those ads work really well. That's one of the things that we sell a lot of our clients on, is those types of ads. Like I said, if you can keep it under that 15-second mark, you can get it to auto loop, and that's really what gets people to stop scrolling. So in our agency, we just call those illusion ads, because it makes you kind of stop and like rethink kind of those things. We did one in our agency where we were kind of promoting we have a marketing grade book where you can kind of go through it, and it'll give you a grade of what your marketing is. And what we did is we shot it. I was in it, and where I actually go and grab a little emoji off of the top and pull it down, and it's the actual grade book that we have. You know, setting up green screens, doing all that kind of stuff, shooting all of that. Like I said, my background is in actual film production, so that's one of the advantages that we have. But yeah, that ad performed fairly well. Like I said, all those like little things that you can kind of do in ads, and even just being able to bring those to a client and being able to show them those really shows how much more value you can provide them, and really just a new creative way in looking at advertising.
Tim,
Yeah, I love those.
About that. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. What'd you say, Mike?
Oh, Tim, like that. That's wonderful, and I don't have a background in green screen, but my question to you is: it feels that what Ty has been saying, that you can't just be the quality video, quality photo anymore. You got to add value to the client. You are your area is in marketing. I feel that you would do 100 times better than what I could.
Yeah.
Right. So how could I even compete with you? Or let me rephrase that question. What's the point of me showing value of this type of marketing that you just said if you provide 10 times more than I can to the client?
Target audience first. Like who are you going? He may go after a different audience than you are.
Okay, fair. Let's make it very assumptive for my area. Cannabis weed vendors, cannabis and cannabis lawyers, those kind of things.
So you're saying Tim looks like the type of guy that would go after cannabis? No, I'm joking. You trying to say cannabis lawyers? No.
One thing I will say is, like, cannabis, CDB, all that kind of stuff, we technically can't even advertise on a lot of social platforms. Now, we can offer advertising solutions, but the thing is like all of those are against a lot of policies. Now, there's ways to kind of skirt that. We actually don't go after that market at all, because one is like, if we get our account shut down because we're helping other people, then our entire business is gone. So there are certain industries that we don't do. But to go with what you're talking about is, like, let's say that we are in the exact same industry. The thing is like, to a degree, a lot of marketing companies have video people. They just don't have that. So the big thing is, like, what I would really look at doing is go to maybe a few marketing agencies, see if they have video people, and if don't, see if you can offer a white label solution where if they have a client that wants video production done, you offer that under their name. And I know that may sound a little like, well, I want to build my own reputation, I want to do that stuff. But the thing is like, you're getting paid regardless, right? Yep. Like, you're starting to build your reel, you're starting to do that stuff, and they're doing all the selling, because selling is always the hardest part for a lot of people in business. So that's what I would do. Like, back whenever I started, my very first company I started was a production company, and I did some of that. And that's how I fell in love with marketing and advertising, and that's the route that I ended up going into. but it's a way to kind of understand what they're doing and to learn from them, right? Because it's like, okay, like, right, just like I said, like, oh, if we do a square video that's 15 seconds, that's something that you might not know as just a content creator, but because you're working with an agency, they look at a lot more of some of those analytical things. And if you don't have that kind of skill set, it's an easy way for you to start learning some of those things. And that's what I would do, is just offer a white label solution. And sometimes even like with us, like I still love going out and shooting commercials and doing some of that, but I'll go and sometimes, if it makes sense for us, to contract out another production company to do a lot more of the work. Maybe I may just do some of the writing, some of the directing parts of it, and then we go and we have our in-house editors do it. So that's kind of one of the things that I would look at, because there's a lot of marketing agencies that would love to do video. They just don't have the knowledge in it. And more times than not, they're just like, we can do the video, I'll just shoot it on my phone. And that's not quite at the same level. So that's just one thing to kind of think about, I feel like.
Yeah, I did a bunch of white labeling for companies that wanted us to show up and film under their label. The check is the same.
Yeah, I never do that. So good.
Yeah, I do that.
I'm gonna look into that.
Alex, you say you do some white labeling. Tell us about it. I mean,
Yeah, like I just partnered up with a social media marketing agency. You know, because a lot of agencies, they'll be like, yeah, we do everything. We do your social media, we do your SEO, we do your video, we do photo, we do yada yada. But they're only really good at a couple of things. And so I partnered up with this agency, one, because I wanted them to manage my social media, which they're going to start doing soon. So I'm trading them video services to start handling my social media, so I can up my social media presence and be more consistent with that. But then they turned around, and the type of video product that I sold them to get them to, you know, into this agreement, now they got it on their website, and they're like, yo, so how much it's going to cost? We can sell this to because they're already getting results from it. They're already getting inquiries and everything. And so they hit me up like, yo, how much it costs? All right. If you got to travel, what is it? All right. And I look the next day, it's all on their website. Like
that's why it's also good if you got the structure-based pricing and you can present that like that. It makes it easier for them to calculate price and give quotes. Another great thing, I did a lot of video for a web design company that wanted to offer video, like a intro video with every website that they sold.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and I even still just take jobs as a shooter for other people. Mm-hmm. Like I did a job last month for another guy like me, you know, solopreneur running a small production company, but he wanted a second shooter for a job in Savannah. And we happened to connect through, I don't know, it was like Craigslist or Production Hub or something, one of those. And went out, had a good time, got the money. And he's hitting me up, asking me to do more work. And I don't care. Money spends the same.
As long as the check clears.
That's right. Alex, right now you look like you're in a documentary for like a Kirk Franklin.
Yeah. One of those R&B documentaries.
Like an R&B group that broke up in the 90s.
Yeah, man, I'm saying things weren't the same after.
You were like the fourth member of Guy or something. Like you were.
Hey, you know you gotta do it for the one time.
It's like he was like. It used to be
try hitting behind those.
It used to be Belle Biv, Alex, and DeVoe, but you didn't make the group one time. It was just Belle Biv, DeVoe, right?
You ain't right, dude.
Yeah.
Man,
the day they were supposed to sign a contract, they told me the meeting got moved.
Yeah. All you need is like a TV One logo in the corner, bro. Or like it's perfect, man. I like the setup.
Oh my goodness. Classic setup. It looks good, man.
Nice setup, man. Nice setup.
I think it's a camera angle too, bro.
Nah, he's got it done up right, man. It's nice.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I have a teleprompter set up so I can look straight in the lens, but I've been running all over the place this week. So
and you got the camera in the back. It's dope though. I just had to mess with you. I had to mess with you. Usually it's Jay I mess with because he be having hot sauce and he be having everything. He be having liquor.
We got space dust.
Okay, let me see what you got. Okay, yeah. Jay usually he the only person with hot sauce and no food.
We got sponsors today. Tim got a sponsor too. What is Tim sporting?
Wait,
down
what you
there?
got? What you got, Tim? Hold on. Tim got the.
Ah,
Oh, he covered it. Okay, they haven't cut the check yet.
Woo.
Hold on now. It sounds like we about to have like a drinking party in here or something.
Hey,
I got a 4-day. I'm all for 4 days.
oh yeah, you're right. You got the military. I just
no days off.
we're rocking with the day. Yes, great value. I'm cheap. So here we go.
H2O.
Hey,
What we got? Hold up. Ronnie got the Ronnie. Ronnie, what you got over there?
you got the Woodford.
I got
That
some
bottle
Blake's Whataburger. Oh, what you got?
That's a full bottle, man. I don't know if that count, man. That bottle's still full, bro.
I must
Yeah,
recycle with some water in
Don't
here.
check that. We want to get it in because I mean it's just that kind of night. Check me tomorrow. I'll be down here.
Yeah,
I'll be down here tomorrow.
He said, "Okay, we about to do this." Look at it. Look at this guy drinking. Right, you got another guy drinking over here. Look.
Perrier.
Oh, we all taking a shot. I will.
Hey, real quick, we got a question. Power Suit Portraits. I like that name. That's dope. Just wondering, do you have anyone in particular writing effective email subject lines that get readers to open your email? So, 2 ways you can do it. If you Google, there is like a package of email templates that you can buy that have nothing but like strong.
Oh, we all taking a shot. I will.
It has nothing but strong like.
question.
Hold up. They got nothing but strong like subject lines that you can use. Not too crazy how effective they are. I like to go with writers and just have them create everything. So just wanted to know.
But there's even there's different copywriting websites and things like that, like template generators and things. One popped up in my email like last month or the month before, and I checked it out. It was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I'm not, again, I'll tell people all the time, like writing is, grammar is, it's not my strong point. I understand it. I get it. So I hire people for it because I get too excited and I go to typing stuff and then I look back at it like, who wrote this?
Hey, we all went to American public schools for the most part, so
that's true.
It's okay.
Detroit public schools where it was rough. It was rough. So, but I made it. I survived. I'm like one of the 3% that walked across the stage. So, I'm good.
Shout out the football.
Football was all right. If we got to a game without some shooting, we was good.
Oh no, I'm talking about myself. That's the only reason I graduated.
Was football?
Yeah.
I can see that. That's what's up. Sports.
But yeah, so giving a little back for me for the past month or two, I've been doing a lot of trying to learn how to do marketing and stuff for myself. Decided to go ahead and start fully going into it. But things that I'm noticing that, I mean, you hear it in your head, but you don't really understand until you actually get into the thick of things, was that you shouldn't bring yourself as a photographer or videographer to the person. You have to have a product that comes with that. So basically having a main course deal, there's a plate that you want to give to them, and there's different ingredients and stuff on there, and part of that is the videography and the photography. But with that, the other other stuff, like you said, to create the product, to create that product in a way that it can sell to them. So I've been looking more of, whenever somebody asks me, I used to say, yeah, I do video production, this, that, and third. So I switched that from saying video production to video marketing. The reason of that is because if I'm saying video production, they're thinking, okay, he's just a camera guy.
Yep.
But if I'm saying like digital marketing or things like that, it helps them, like digital marketing. Okay, so he probably went to school and did stuff like this and that and third. It's kind of like learning to deal with their assumptions, as you must say.
Right.
So being able to adapt to that, I'm slowly kind of understanding how to do it a little bit more. I think like for me, I'm more of a do guy because there's 3 different ways people learn: by seeing, by hearing, and by doing. I'm more of a do guy. So being able to be able to think of things and stuff like that, it helps me understand how to market myself in a better way. I have some leads that I'm doing now, but I don't want to make promises to myself, so I try to uh, humble it down before I get too excited and lose another customer. So
The thing is making sure that you're leading with the solution, right? You're when you go, and I tell people, when you go get a beta client, literally walk in and find out how you can help them. Like, how can I help you? Using How can I use my skill sets to help you? Don't let them pick. Don't let them come to you and try to figure out the fact that you're a photographer. And you can walk in and just ask them, like, what are some situations that I can provide a cinematic solution? Like, what are you having a problem with right now? Because you want to kind of go through some of their issues, and Tim can even touch on it. You don't go to them and they're like, we want to do Facebook advertising. Usually you talk to a client to figure out if that's even going to work for them, if that's right. They may need to go on Google. If they're a plumber, they probably don't want to advertise on Facebook. They probably want to advertise on Google, where 3,000 people in the area is searching for what's the best plumber in my area, compared to being in front of people who, subscribe to a pipe group that sounds bad, but a pipe group in Facebook. You just may reach more people if you can get on Google and be in front of people who need a plumber. So you always want to go in open-minded, and you always want to go in and try to just understand what they need, and then provide that solution, and not be on pipe.
I'd say, like, any client you sit down and talk to, you should just be asking tons of questions, because you need to understand everything about them to be able to help them.
Yeah.
So the funny thing about that is,
Yeah,
I haven't had customers to sit down and talk with and stuff like that. The way that I've been doing it lately, because I haven't actually went out to go talk to the customers because work been kicking my butt a little bit. But the thing that I've been doing was whenever I see opportunities. Say, for example, recently, just yesterday, there was a testing that was going on between the Special Forces for the Air Force and the Cocoa Beach Police, and they were doing a clearing in the house. I was like, okay, so what y'all doing? And I know one of the persons there, so I was like, what y'all doing? He's like, oh, we just teaching them how to clear houses and stuff, and they're using the MWDs, which is military working dogs that they have. I said, yeah, do you mind if I record and stuff like that? They said, yeah, that's fine. So I did while I was doing it. That's when I got to the point where I was saying, instead of saying video production, I do digital marketing. So it was like, really? So not only the police gave me their contacts, as well as the person who used the weapons that they used. The owner of that, he actually was there as well. So he gave me his card as well. So I did some B-roll where the weapons, not only just the weapons, but what they was doing inside that, and be able to give that to them, say, hey, this is what I usually do. If y'all need me to start posting it for y'all on y'all, Instagram and stuff like that, yeah, don't hesitate to ask.
One of my real quick before I move forward, because I know I think Tim, you had something you wanted to say about the marketing side of it. You put your hand up for a second. Go for it, bro. Before I jump into it, because I wanted to say something about that, but go for it.
Yeah, no worries. Just like what you were saying before is, you want to go make sure that you're asking questions. And a perfect example of this is we had a client that was in the tech industry. They were like, we're designing the software, we're wanting to get it out, and we're kind of wanting to do that. Of course, like the first assumption is like, oh, we can market it, we can advertise it, we can show videos, we can do all that stuff. But thankfully, stopped, take a step back and actually ask questions. We actually found out like the main thing that they actually needed was training material, so that when people got the software, they can watch through, have training, that kind of stuff. And if it wasn't that, like I said, it wouldn't have been, if we just kind of went in there with our assumptions of what we should sell them and not really have a good fit to what kind of problem they had, it wouldn't have allowed us to sign a $25,000 contract. So, that's really a big difference between, going in, assuming and just telling the client what you think they need versus actually sitting down and assessing and asking those questions and coming up with a creative solution to the problems. That's really pretty much where I wanted to put it.
Where that's super important is if it goes wrong, you are to blame. You're gonna take the heat for it. If it go wrong, you're gonna burn for it. And that's why I used to go in and they were like, we want a video on this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot it, and then I don't hear from them because the video didn't work because I didn't need that. So it's the equivalent of go to your mechanic, tell them I need a new muffler, buy the muffler, pay them to install it, leave and have the same problem. You're gonna think the mechanic is trash. Very rarely do people say, well, let me have the mechanic. And that's why the mechanic's always like, let me do some diagnostics. Like, let me look at it first, because it may not be what you think it is. And then let me, suggest something and then fix it. And if it don't work, I'll take the heat for it because I told you to do it. So you got to be careful with that. A lot of people get new batteries and they need new alternators, or a lot of people get new alternators and they need new starters. And, so it's the same thing. You are the mechanic, even though they're screaming that they need something, allow yourself to diagnose the problem that they're having so that you can write the prescription for it. Jay, you said you had your hand up, Jay?
Yeah. Thinking back now, one thing I saw that they kept doing, people who've been in the military know about this, is muzzle awareness. So whenever they was going in, they was flashing each other. You know?
So real quick, for those who don't know what flashing is, that's when you point your gun at somebody that's on your team by mistake, just moving it around.
Yeah, so they was from back to back and kept flashing each other on the back. And one of the things that the instructor kept telling them, say, quit flashing each other, and then just being able to do that. So actually be able to do a training video for them. I probably have to ask them about that.
I'm gonna tell you a big thing for me in the military is I used to go up to units like that. So a lot of people in the military don't understand is every single unit got a social media page. Every single unit got a newsletter. Every single unit got an emailer that go out, and they always need content. They always need pictures. They always need video. Every single unit. So you may be in a battalion of 30 or 40 units, and none of them have like photographers and none of that stuff. So you can always go and just practice with. And I used to get out of all kind of stuff because I was in Special Operation Command, so we was already like spoiled. Like our unit had mad money, so I would just go hang with generals and film dumb stuff all day that they wanted to add to their emails. So I got out of a lot of stuff because I got in good with them. So just a little something you can use. Alex says, develop your discovery process. Make them fill out a form, do a call. You want to make sure you're gathering enough information from the client so that you can provide the right solution. It's really big. It is something that a lot of content creators lack. They just like, you want a video? You want to doing what? Okay, I can shoot it, instead of really understanding what the client needs. You'd be surprised at how many people wanted a half an hour video. And I'm like, listen, your target audience is teenagers. We need to make this under 2 minutes, and just able to create something at work. Because I promise you, if you do exactly what they tell you to do and it look exactly the way they want it to look and it don't work, you're going to take the heat for that failure. Go for it too.
Yeah, so with the questions and that kind of stuff, especially like a lot of the stuff that we do, it's so true. Like what you're saying is like you can deliver exactly what the client thinks that they need. For example, like sometimes people want to hire us to do lead generation, right? We'll get the clients to them. And the thing is like sometimes we'll do that. And if we don't have certain processes in place to like them, they won't even call the leads. I know that sounds crazy, but they won't call leads, and they'll be like, oh, all those leads were terrible because none of them bought anything. It's like, you didn't even call them. And they're like, no, you're just bad. And it's kind of crazy because you think like, man, if you sent me like customers that are ready to buy, I'd be calling all of them. But there's just some people out there that just won't, and they'll be like, nope, like it's not good. Like those leads are bad, whatever. That's the thing is like you are responsible for anything that you give to a client. Even if it's exactly what they wanted, but it's not going to help them, you're better off just not doing it in the grand of things.
That's why usually when I work with a client, and not to cut you off, when I work with a client, I like to be responsible for posting, keywording, tagging, titling the video. I'm usually asking for that responsibility, because a lot of times I'll give clients finished videos and it'll have a 2-word title, no keywords, no hashtags, and it's just somewhere just dying on the internet. And they, to them, they're like, oh, you didn't make a good video, so nobody watched it. It didn't go viral. Like, well, people can't even search for it because, you got it labeled something differently. It doesn't have it doesn't have the information it needs for people to find it. So I usually, as a part of, and sometimes as a courtesy or as a part of the value that we offer here at FlashFilm Media, we like to be responsible, or at least we like to post the video for you. It don't matter where you're posting it at, things will change depending on, of course, if we go on IG, we like to come up with the hashtags. We're going, YouTube, we like to come up with the keywords. And then there's different tools we use to come up with, the proper keywords and hashtags for that video. I don't just make it up out of the air. But there's things you can do, and little things like that add value when you're talking to a client, because the other guy's just like, yeah, we're going to deliver the file to you. I'm saying I'm going to deliver a copy for you to keep, and then we want to post it on your social media in a way to help start to get momentum. Go for it, too.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add on to that of like good questions that you can actually ask in whenever you're talking with clients and you're wanting to kind of dive deeper, help diagnose some of those problems. Now, these aren't just questions that just popped into our head and we came up with. These are actually, I can never remember the guy's name, but he wrote a book that's called The Ask Method, and it's all about like how you ask questions to clients and how you can essentially help you make the sale and that kind of stuff. So I want to share them with you guys if that's okay with everyone. I always find these types of things helpful. So yeah, so we do this a lot. Like I said, we tend to do surveys every now and again, especially whenever we start working with clients and like going along with the email marketing is if you have a client that is working with you, you want to continuously send surveys. Yeah, there you go, the Ask Method. And that's really the big thing is because you want to collect that data, especially, right, like even if we just think of like COVID and all of that, in a short period of time, so many things changed very quickly. So the big thing is like I said, essentially what I like, the reason I like this method is it's 5 questions and that's it. With those 5 questions, you should be able to get as much information as you need without really, harping on the client. So the first one is really, what is your number one goal when it comes to XYZ, right? So that could be like if you're going to a dentist, what's your number one goal in growing your business, right? Or getting more patients, right? What is that number one goal? Like, what is the number one goal overall? That way you have a clear picture, right? Because sometimes getting more clients or getting more customers isn't the focus, right? Sometimes it's not. So that's number one. Number 2 is, what is your number one roadblock getting to that goal? What is one thing that's hanging you up? Is it finances? Is it time? Is it resources? Whatever it is, right? And then after that is, what is the number one thing that you would like to learn to achieve that goal, right? Because is it like, do I want to learn how to get better lead gen? Is it, how to close clients better? Is it, how to even just make our overall customer experience better, right? Any of those things. And then what is your number one fear, right? Because the big thing is like, if you can understand what they like keeps them up at night, anytime that you write any of that on your website, you do that, right? And I'm sure that you guys have probably seen an ad or looked at something and you're like, how do they know that that's what I'm like thinking in my mind, right? That's really what that question helps you with. And then finally, what are like 3 additional things that you might want to learn about achieving your goal, right? These are all the questions that we like to ask. And even as a video content creator, I think that all of these really help you understand your market a lot better and help you come up with a better creative solution than like the other guys just bringing in of like, yeah, I can animate a logo, or I can, get a gimbal and shoot some random shots you know, kind of thing. So
another thing too is you're going to learn that in your niche, when you start working with the same target audience, you're gonna get a lot of the same answers. And when you can approach them with these answers answered, you'll seem like a genius guru, super subject matter expert. Because you'll run into these same problems over and over again. Do you ever feel like, I mean, Tim, working with those questions and living within that niche, do you ever run into like the same, you know, I know you guys probably do marketing for quite a few companies, but do you ever run into the same industry and you know, you can almost say it before it come out of their mouth?
Yeah, and that's really the big thing. And because if you have that, like I said, really the big key thing is if you can answer their objections before they even tell them to you. One is, as soon as somebody feels understood, that's pretty much whenever you gain the most trust with them, right? So like with certain like restaurant clients, like we have a few industries that we work in. And of course, if you're starting out, just focus on one industry and really get to know it. And then once you kind of have that, you can move to other industries, but trying to just do everything at once, it just doesn't work, right? But by understanding like what restaurant owners are feeling right now and being able to talk to those things before we maybe even a phone call, right? Like the copy that we put on our website talks about like, hey, you know, like you never know, like, is today the day that I'm going to have to close my doors? Like if I can articulate that on a sales page or a whatever that I send to them and they feel that connection, I'm way higher up as a priority to them than somebody that's just like, hey, you're a restaurant, you need online order. Like, well, no, duh. Like everyone needs online ordering, right? But that's the thing, is that's why whenever you do these questions, and that's why I say like question people that haven't even gotten your product. And one of the things that we do a lot of the times is like if we're getting ready to go into a new market, like let's say you're getting ready to go into a new niche, I would literally just be like, hey, you know, call up, you know, 5-6 dentists and be like, hey, you know, do you mind if I send you over like a quick survey? Like we're trying to get some market research, really understand the industry a lot better. And if you do this survey, like, you know, like I'll send you, you know, whatever, a $25 Amazon gift card to fill out just 5 questions, right? And you do that times, that way whenever you go into maybe a beta client, or even if you just want to go in, you have all of that data, right? You have all of that stuff. So whenever you go and you pitch, you know, maybe doing a video, you kind of already have an idea of what maybe they need, right? And like I said, like the beta client stuff, we pretty much do essentially the same kind of thing in our agency, is when we're moving or looking at maybe seeing if this is an industry that we even want to work with. Like we'll put out different surveys and ask people like, hey, you know, go through this like 5-question survey and get this thing, right? And being able to get a bunch of people to go through, do that kind of stuff. And then even your existing customers, because really, I think a lot of people just think like, oh, once I know it, right? But I always like to just, especially now with COVID, like even if you surveyed people like a week apart, their fears are going to be way different, right? And this is something that I think that you want to consistently be doing, consistently going out. And of course, like your pre-existing customers are more likely just to do it without some kind of incentive. I always think that if you can give something to a pre-existing customer, always do it, right? Like your customer service and that experience is going to really help solidify and keep them with you a lot longer. So if you can do it, do it. But if you're going into a brand new market, any of that stuff, like I said, even just being able to reach out to a few people, some people even just answer the 5 questions completely for free. But if you're, like I said, if you're really serious about trying to figure that out, because like I said, really everything that you talk about, the way that you talk to your client, the marketing material, right? Even your business card that you give to them, even if you on the back, you just mention a few of those things that a lot of people have seen time and time again, it's going to stick with them way more than just some random guy, you know, Joe Smo down the street that's like, I got a, you know, a camera from 19 shoot whatever, it's fine. You know, so that's really the big thing. And that's why I said I really like the ask method. Like I said, there's a book, there's all kinds of stuff out there, but after everything that we've kind of gone through, those are really the 5 main questions. And like I said, we ask them all the time. Even clients that don't sign with us will even just send them out a survey like, hey, can you answer these questions for us? And of course, we always ask, like, you know, why didn't you go with us? That kind of stuff. So we get that feedback as well. But usually it comes down to our messaging, our offer, any of that stuff just didn't align enough with the client. It didn't feel like we were speaking directly to them. And like I said, especially, and I'm sure that some of you guys have seen ads on either Facebook or social media, or when you read them, you're like, I've never said this to anybody. Facebook is like stalking me, and they're listening to my phone call kind of stuff. Usually if you have that thought, it's because a marketer has done a lot of research and is saying the exact same things that you're thinking, but it's because they probably had 100 people thinking the same thing. It's just you haven't heard that spoken out loud anywhere, and that's why you gravitate towards it.
What I'll do as an exercise is I'll ask that I'll go in like the Facebook group and I'll ask those questions, and then I'll come on a Gold Member Live and compare what I've received from people, just to give you an idea of seeing it work just in front of you. One thing that I've done to get people to do surveys if they're existing clients, and I know I have a shoot coming up, is I would offer them something. And I would offer them a free a la carte item. Like, for instance, one time I did headshots for a client, and to get them to fill out the survey, I'd offer them like free like teeth whitening, like something that didn't really cost me nothing, but they felt like they were getting something extra out of it. Or I would offer them a second angle, or I would offer them the ability to save all of the files that weren't selected. Just little stuff like that that don't really cost you nothing extra, but people feel like they're getting something extra. Also, we would do fill out a lot of, and you'll see this a lot once I mention it, fill out a survey for a chance to win blank. You'll see that a lot. Fill out a survey for a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card, and a lot of ways to get surveys. In fact, in the module 2, I think it's either module 2 or module 3, there's a whole section in the master course that talks about feedback from clients before, during, and after a shoot, and how to use it and things like that. So yeah, you got to know, because I have been notorious for working with a client, never talking to him again, assuming they were happy because they never said, you know what I'm saying? So you just got clients, you deliver a file, they're like, okay, thanks, and that's it. You don't know if they were ecstatic, that there was okay. Like, you just don't know how they feel about you. Like, you assume because they didn't say nothing that they're good, but you have to dig deeper and get a better understanding.
Yeah, people won't say nothing to you, but they'll talk to everybody else about what you didn't do or how you disappointed them or whatever else. I learned that in the AV industry.
Yeah, that, and I mean, and sometimes people can feel neutral. They feel like, and you want to know where can I improve? Like you're giving me a 3-star. What could I have done to get a 4-star? And they won't come forward with that information because it's just a neutral feeling. Usually when you get feedback is if you're really, really bad. Like, that's why you see Yelp is full of people that's just mad about it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to ask for the good, because you can get more good if you ask for it. Go for it, Tim.
Yeah, and definitely I think one of the big things that a lot of people miss out on, and this is one of the things that we kind of do a little bit of coaching with some people on, is if, like you said, make sure to reach out, ask to see how everything went. And if somebody gives you a bad review, does whatever, like, always reach out to them, like, try to make it right. Because I feel like, especially nowadays, it's very, very uncommon to a degree for somebody to try and go a little bit of the extra mile. And even like with one of our clients, we just essentially implemented a system that would send out text messages, ask them like, hey, how was your experience? Like, that kind of follow-up. And people that didn't have that great of experience, like, I'm like, you got to be on it. Like, try and figure out, because I'm like, one is you're always going to have some people that just hate everything. Like they're just that kind of person that is just like, they find the negatives in everything. And some of those people you just got to let go, and like, it is what it is. But the people that were kind of like, you know, I really wanted to like this thing, this one little thing didn't happen, try to make it right. And if you go above and beyond, and a lot of times what we tell a lot of our clients is like, right, like if something wasn't quite right, make it right, but then add a little bit extra to it to just really help, like, hey, you know, we're real sorry about this. Like on the next shoot, we're going to do, you know, XYZ, or we're going to, you know, we did this thing, or, you know, we actually went and spent a little bit more time. And if you can really make that right, those people will go from being the people that talk all the bad stuff about you to the ones that are going to just praise you all the time, and are going to find ways to talk about that experience in their everyday life. And that's really what you want to do. Because like I said, I know that especially whenever you read a bad review or you look at something like, you kind of just want to hopefully forget it, but really take the extra time to kind of go a little bit above and beyond. Because like I said, especially now in a lot of the digital age, there really isn't that kind of thing. So if you can make those really like, right, make people feel like they're important, because to me, I'm like, they are important. Like they trusted you with what you have to offer, they're giving you money, that kind of stuff. You should do everything in your power to make it right, kind of thing. So
I used to call it like I like what's called, I used to call them review wins, right? When people give you a review that you're not crazy about, like my goal is to make you change that review. I'm not going to tell you that, but I'm going to do whatever I got to do to make you, because those reviews really help win over people. At first I didn't like this and that wasn't right, but Ty himself made sure it was right. Like I have reviews like that, and they go back and they rewrite, or they go back and they talk about how things wasn't right, but they fixed it and they made it right, and they didn't give up until I was happy. Like those reviews really win over people that are on the fence. Like, I don't want to spend money and I get something that's terrible and I'm stuck with it. To hear that somebody, you know, well, we didn't really get this and we weren't happy about that, but they came back and made sure we were happy. Those reviews really help people who are on the fence. So I used to make it my business to personally make sure that if somebody wrote me a bad review, even if and I'm gonna be real, even if I had to go out and reshoot something, even if it cost me money, you know, there was no way, I'm definitely not letting a big client, you know, like a Walmart or a big name or any, you know, I'm definitely not letting them leave me a bad review. I'm gonna do anything it takes to make sure that they update that review, you know, that we did great things for them. Because those wins will they will come through for you. Those are big. I mean, go to your, you know, you're probably, if you have your business listed on Google Maps or Google right now, you probably have some reviews you don't even know about. If you haven't linked the account, you can be getting drugged under the, you know, you can be getting drugged like crazy right now and don't even know it, wondering why you spending all this money for marketing and nobody's calling you. So make sure you check online and look at your reputation. There's companies that make a living off cleaning up reputation, not obviously online, but your business may be listed places and you may have a client just going in on you. I found stuff like on Reddit and other places where you just won't think to look because it's not a website you frequent. And I used to just do searches for my company name just to see who mentioned me and what they're saying. And I go back and shoot some stuff from a year ago to try to make it right. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, one of the things that I definitely recommend if you are a business is go and set up Google alerts. Essentially, you can put in your like company name, and anytime something gets posted on Google with like your company name, it'll alert you. And that's like the best way, because like you said, like there's all kind of people can post pretty much anywhere, and it's hard to keep track because it's like, well, I don't have a Reddit account, but if there's people on Reddit saying whatever, like, but being able to go and set up just like Google alerts where anytime somebody types in, you know, your business name, it's going to alert you like, hey, you know, there's a new article, there's a new comment, there's a new whatever. Like that's the best way to do it. A lot of big like Fortune 500 companies that we've worked with, that's like one of the main things that we try to get them to do right away is like get Google alerts, have that so that you can see like what are people posting about you. If people are writing articles about you, saying like good things, follow up with them, see if they want to do interviews. Like I said, it's kind of right. There's good and bad, and that's really you want to go and monitor.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot for under news. I would create alerts under if there's anything published under the news section of Google, just to make sure nobody's like, you know, bad mouthing me or whatever. But that was just on like news stuff. But alerts is definitely the way to go. Definitely the way to go. I'm not gonna keep you guys too long tonight because it's been about 2 hours and 17 minutes, but I want to make sure everybody, you know, got a good understanding of just things that they can do to improve on marketing from the email side, from the review side, from the questionnaire side, from the feedback side. I hope you guys were able to, you know, learn a lot just bouncing things off each other. Even if it's just the fact that we all need to follow Michael on Instagram. I just hope that you guys, you know, got something from today's
I enjoyed my rabbit hole infestations.
Everybody's looking down at their phone. It's okay. You're gonna be back next week. Your neck gonna be hurting from looking down. Your battery gonna be exhausted. It's all good. But no, you know, marketing is a big part that we overlook because we're worried about lenses and bokeh and flash power and this, that, and the other, and we just skim over marketing. We think that we're just gonna be on the front cover with a camera and people are just gonna line up and buy from us. But it's very important that you develop as much of a passion as you can for being successful in marketing. It's a fun game of chess. And you know, you gotta like it a little bit. When I was in the military, like I would take stuff that I hated the most and I would find a way to learn to like it, and life would just get better. Like I hated running, you know, and I would just find a way to like it, find a way to like waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go run 6 miles after I drank all night. Yeah, I know. Jay, would you say you about to run 6 miles in the morning?
It's basically gonna be a ruck march.
Oh yes, I like rucks. I ain't like running.
Yeah, we do a little baby jog, but I'm gonna be drinking tonight. But for all y'all don't know, if y'all get real drunk and you can't recover like you can, get Pedialyte. It helps a lot. Drink it the night before, you be refreshed, ready to go.
The
voice of experience right there.
That's some Army stuff. Pedialyte or an IV. If you got a medic buddy and you go get an IV, you'll be good to go.
Definitely. But I did have a question as far as digital, marketing itself. I do want to get better at that, both in person and as far as online, out of like that. So where can I go to find a class that will help with digital marketing? Do y'all have anybody?
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Huh?
Follow Gary Vaynerchuk.
There is Google has like different. I don't know. Let me ask you a question. While we got Tim here that specializes in marketing, do you think going online and getting your Google certification for pay-per-click is that too deep, or do you think that's something that, because it's a whole lot, but it's free?
Yeah, so it's free if you pass the test the first time. If you don't pass the test the first time, then you got to retake it, and sometimes it can cost money. Funny enough, we actually don't have our Google certification or any of that stuff, even though we still have clients. I think it's one of those that it's more like the cherry on top. I will give a shameless plug here, but we do have a YouTube channel, and we are talking a lot about marketing and advertising. One is I would really think about what are you wanting to, because to me, anytime somebody says social media advertising, I'm like, that's very broad, because one is I'm like, if you got, if you're running ads on Pinterest, they're completely different than on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, any of that stuff. So one is I would really figure out, based on your market, what kind of digital marketing services do they actually want? One is, like I said, we do a lot more advertising. We don't do a lot of like, I'm going to post for you every single day. Now, if that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. But that's really the big thing, is figuring out like, what is it in that specific niche? Because, right, like Restaurants can do really well on like Instagram and Facebook. They actually do fairly well on Pinterest as well. Like a plumber is probably going to be a lot better at like Google pay-per-click than Instagram, right? And maybe YouTube advertising makes a lot more sense. So one is, I would say, figure out like what is your niche and where are they going to see the best results, right? Because I don't want to sell a lawyer on Pinterest advertising. Like, we could probably make it work, but it's going to be way more difficult, right? Like, it's going to be way, like, extremely difficult versus like a Google pay-per-click, right? Somebody that's searching for a lawyer, they're probably going to go to Google, not Pinterest, right? So that's kind of one of the big things that I would say is, what are you kind of doing? But like I said, on our YouTube channel, we do already have a beginner's guide to Facebook advertising. So understanding how Facebook advertising works. And today I actually shot one on Pinterest advertising. So we're going to be rolling that one out here shortly. But as far as like classes and that kind of stuff, it really depends. Like I said, it depends on what you're wanting to do. To be honest, I'm not that big of a fan of Gary. I understand where he's coming from with a lot of things. I just don't agree with, you need to be posting on every single social media platform like 10,000 times a day and like a lot of that kind of stuff. One is, it depends on your audience, right? Because I'm like, if like posting on Pinterest doesn't make that much sense to me if your market is plumbers, right? Like, your audience isn't there. There's no reason to spend a bunch of time posting on there if they're not there, right? Just like Instagram. I don't really know that many like, you know, fancy toilet Instagrams. I mean, maybe they're out there. I don't know. I don't follow them, but right, like, that's not where your market is. So don't spend a lot of time doing things that aren't where your clients are, right? And I know Ty talks about it all the time too. So like I said, that's really what I would think about, is like, what makes the most sense, and spend the time focusing on that platform, right? Like, when we got started, Facebook was the big thing, right? So that's what we focused on, was a lot of Facebook advertising. We do advertising in a lot of the other areas, but it's based on the industry. Because like I said, I mean, we don't offer Pinterest advertising to all of our clients because it doesn't make sense, right? So that's what I would say is based on like, what's your niche, I guess, is the better question.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. So go ahead.
I was gonna ask, like, what, like you said, you were starting to tell people that you're doing video marketing or digital marketing. Like, when you say that, what exactly are you trying to convey? Like, because there's different areas that can cover. So it really depends on what kind of service you're actually trying to provide. Like, I built myself as a video marketing strategist, but and now I'm refining that to where most of what I want to do is help people build personal brands, which is going to help them build their, you know, professional brands or their business's brand as a byproduct of that. But I really believe in personal branding. So it's like, what area are you really trying to serve? What kind of service are you really trying to provide? Are you trying to be like Tim and do a lot of advertising? See, because like, I don't want to do advertising. Like, I do run some Facebook ads and things like that, but I'm more about creating content and pushing content organically. And I mean, you can also run your organic ads to your organic content and stuff like that, but that's a deeper discussion. But like, you know, that's me. Like, I like to help people with their content that's going to help them build their personal brand. So like, where's your focus at? What are you trying to do? Like, are you trying to do everything, or do you have a particular focus? Like, what is it that you want to be doing for people?
So my focus in digital marketing is be able to deal with mostly Instagram and TikTok, the how-to videos on the reels for the Instagram, and then as far as the TikTok, just being able to do how-to videos mostly.
I would say that that's still too broad.
Yep.
In my opinion, because
Okay.
how-to, like how I do how-tos is different than like a plumber does how-tos, is different than I mean, a roofer, and there's so many different how-tos. And really the way that I like to, one is, if you've watched any of my YouTube videos, I really don't like the word niche. To me, I don't know, something about the word niche I just don't like. I like to think of it more as an industry, right? What is that industry, right? Is it the plumbing industry? Is it the restaurant industry? Overall, like what that is. And even then, sometimes that could still be a little bit broad to a degree. But overall, like I said, I like to think of industries because realistically, like the platforms that a restaurant is going to be on, regardless if you're an Italian food restaurant, if you're a food truck, if you're whatever, a lot of the same marketing strategies are going to apply, right? Overall, like I can't take a restaurant marketing strategy and always apply that to a lawyer, right? Because they're completely different. The way that people think about them, the reason why people buy products and services from those are completely different. Even though there may be a little bit of overlap, they're still completely different. So I would say that you really need to niche that down to a specific industry or niche, if that's like to use.
Tim, Alex, I want to know something about this. So my industry that I want to get to is you heard it is the cannabis distribution or cannabis distributor. But you said that's like a blacklist kind of industry. Am I shooting myself in the foot if I'm going towards that? Because like in this state, it is completely legal. But I know for a fact, I've been to these websites, they don't have any video content. I went to their social media site, they don't have any kind of video content that I want, and I believe I can provide that for them. So my question to you is, am I shooting myself in the foot to say, hey, I can do this, I will give them a video, but they're not going to get any traffic because it's quote unquote not a common industry?
What I would say is that you may not be shooting yourself in the foot. You may just be an innovator. You know what I'm saying? You may be leading the charge into that niche or whatever, or that sector. So you just may be the first guy who believes in it enough to start doing it. And so you may have to take Ty's method and get that beta client and make the proof of concept that this can work. You know, work with the beta client, do the content, use it to help them build whatever it is that they're doing. And then you can take that and go to other people and be like, look, this works. We did it. The proof is over here. Like since I started working with them, they've had these accomplishments. They've hit these milestones because of the content and the strategy that we've implemented. But you may have to create the proof of concept, create the case study to be able to create that lane for yourself. Because if you can prove that it works, other people will hop on board, but you just might be the first person to say, hey, I can do this for this industry and make it work.
One thing I want you to be really careful of and to do your research is with cannabis right now, because it's not federally supported. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of walls in the way on what they can and cannot do. Like the reason they don't have any support from banks and things like that. Like there's a reason behind it. And I want you to research that before you go into that industry. Because I was reading something the other day that was saying like they have to use all cash. They can't, credit card companies don't want to touch them because it's not, it's just a lot of stuff. So that may be a reason as to why they're not getting the support when it comes to media companies who can't be paid by check or credit card, who have to be paid by cash. And there's a lot of stuff with that industry that's a little weird right now. I was actually watching a video. Let's see if I can find it before we finish today, but that could be some reason behind it. I'm gonna literally see if I can pull it up before we get out of here. But I just know that industry is a little, because it's not federally supported and they can't get support from certain industries, it may be the cause as to why you don't see a lot of media there.
I mean, but they do have their own, like, there are lanes for media for the cannabis industry. Like, I've seen it. There are networks, there are advertisers, there's stuff out there. It's just not widespread.
Link. I'm gonna post this link. Y'all can watch it whenever. But it just talks about the industry a little bit. I mean, I think it's not going nowhere. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, I mean, if you can find a way in, you're gonna have to get paid by cash, and if you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. But there's just some things you'll just have to be mindful of in the industry. And once you may go in and say, hey, we're one of the only companies that can get paid by cash, or whatever problem, whatever pain point you're having, we've geared our company to work with that, with those. It may be just a glaring opportunity. Go for it, bro. I know you had your hand up. Tim.
Is he there?
Tim, can you hear me? You froze on my end. Hey, Tim, can you hear me?
Oh, you guys can hear me or not, but one of the, yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
I hear you. I hear you, Tim.
Well, one of the things I wanted to say is that, our marketing.
Yeah, one of the big
in front of the client.
I think you're going to delay.
That our marketing puts us in front of the client, but we have to have our selling techniques too. We have to have our selling process down, whether that's going to be the greeting, the introduction. This is why it's so important to know your target market. You should already know every objection before you go in. So when they say it, you can say, oh, you already have a rebuttal for this, for that, and you guide them down the path where you think you can be of help. But you pick up a lot of things during the discovery as you're selling, and then you have to close. So we talk about marketing, and then marketing in person. My marketing in person is selling. But we have to have our stages that we go through, be able to recognize them, and then close the person. So I know what I can do, and I know your industry. So when I listen to you, I can say, I can provide this for you and do this, and this will solve the problem for this, and it'll solve the problem for that. So I'm already leading them down to the path where I specialize. I'm not going to say, like, there's going to be two options. This can help you and this can help you. We can put a video to do this, or we can do a hot air balloon sign. I'm not going to push for the hot air balloon sign. I'm going to say I can do this, this, and this. And I know I can do this because I've done it before. I know it works, and this is the part. So we go through that. But a lot of times we leave the selling process out. We have to go in and know what we're going to say, what the objections will be that we're going to meet, and things like that. And I know, let's see, Mike. Yeah, I know, Mike, you were talking about earlier that somebody is well-versed in this and well-versed in that. And, how you feel about even entering in when the deck is so stacked, man, but you shoot beautiful girls in bikinis. And you don't say, well, I'm not going to shoot because I'm not a sports illustrator. You've already carved out a niche of what you want to do in your area, and you made a name for yourself. You can do the same thing with this. You just have to work on your selling, approaching people, and closing. We have to put some time in to be able to sell when we're in front of people and talk intelligently to the client and tell them what you offer and how you can help them. We do a lot of things based on question-based selling. That's the kind of thing that we do. So those are the things we have to do. But to go in and not have or know what you're going to say, or not have your sale process, first thing, okay, do I have the credibility? Do I have my greeting right? Do I have my sale process? What do I do? What did I learn in discovery? So all of those things. That's all.
Good points. Good points.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that.
I actually did a video for a CBD company here in Texas, and we got the watered down stuff. Y'all obviously got the good stuff, but it was just we had to abide by a lot of just, I don't say weird laws, but when creating the content, when writing for that company, it was a lot of stuff that we had to go back and forth with legal on what they could say, what they couldn't say. it was just a lot. Like we had to use B-roll of like hemp farms. It was a lot, but that was just, you know, living in that niche for a quick second. It's not much in Texas, even though Oklahoma is now medical use, so it's starting to make its way down here. It was just a different ballgame. But yeah. So yeah, you can definitely you know, definitely shoot the video for the you in Washington. So they got that's where they got all the really, really good stuff at, you know. I actually had a chance to go through some of the they do have a bottling facility here that I was actually in, and it was pretty dope. I wonder if they posted it. I can see if they posted it on their site. I know we have some videos on their site. I'll see if I got some stuff that we created for them that we shot. It was some simple stuff years ago, but we had to use a lot of B-roll. I'll put it to you like that, because there was certain stuff we just couldn't film in Texas. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap, fellas. We were supposed to wrap about 45 minutes ago, but we got into a good conversation, and it's all good. I'm cool with that. I just want to make sure cats and learn something here today. Make sure everybody left with something good that can help, even if it's 5 questions to use when you're trying to get feedback for a client, or just understanding the importance of being as targeted as possible with who you go after. It's just like fishing. You can go to a lake with a hook and a worm and hope you catch something, but if you're there looking for a largemouth bass, you'll know what lake to go in, what time to go, what water temperature, what bait to use, what part of the lake, and it makes life a lot easier so that you can leave with exactly what you want. You'll even know what size line to have and how big of a hook, depending on what type of fish you're looking to catch. So everything comes into play as you build this business to go after the client you're looking to go after. You know, Josh, go for it, bro. You've been quiet all night, man. What's up with you? You good?
Yeah. I've been listening. So as far as now, like I said, I've been listening, so I have a billion questions. But I'm not sure if you saw in the Facebook group today, I posted about like what pricing structure would be best. Either like a package, the itemized invoice, or a subscription plan, or it doesn't make sense to offer all 3 and then just kind of pick and choose between which client. And I kind of I talked to Tim earlier today, but I just want to hear like any other input that you guys might have.
Subscription based, I only usually offer it whenever I have a client that's looking to do ongoing work. Like I never bust it out if they want one video. You know, usually when I'm working with clients in social media, you know, you kind of want to imply to a client that you need to be somewhat consistent in this area. And to do that, that's when I would offer subscription based. But sometimes you got clients that just want to do one. We're going to see how this work out. Okay.
So with that, would you prefer, should I go like the package route, or?
I usually build it depending on what problems they're having. I usually build it out. Unless you're doing only time I usually do packages is when I have a cookie cutter style content that we're offering. Hey, we're doing video testimonials, you know, one minute video testimonials where we set up 4 hours, we come to your location, y'all bring on 4 clients, we capture all of them, and we deliver 4 1-minute video. Like I'll do a package like that, and the client know I'm paying this price. Yeah, very specific. I'm paying this price. I'm getting 4 videos. I'm out. Usually I'm building something for the client when it comes to their problems and understanding what issues they have. Packages is something I'll you know, post as like on sale. This is what we're doing to kind of bring people in. But usually I'm trying to solve a problem and offer something custom.
Okay. Yeah, now, that's along the, oh, go ahead.
That subscription can be a combination of the two. If we decide you guys need testimonials every month, you guys need a communication video every month, and then I'll kind of put it together like that. But for the most part, my main go-to thing is offering something that's customized for that client.
Okay.
Yeah. And also I say, like, because I definitely believe in offering customized project-based pricing, so that you get the best value and they get the best value. I have another mentor who he just believes in, and he tells me every client he's trying to sell them on content on an ongoing basis. And he's like, yeah, I sell them. I make them buy a package of hours. Like, how many hours you think you need per month? You pay for that. We do as much work as we can do in that amount of time, but that gives me the flexibility to do whatever kind of content that you come up with or I come up with. And he rolls like that. And he's like, people will eventually go up because they need more. I hardly ever have people come back down. But he also is like, you got to do you got to experiment, bro. You got to figure out what works for you. Because he's like, my system might not work for you. You know, charging by the hour, some people just don't want to do that. But if you're doing one-off project-based pricing, that might work for you. But you kind of gotta feel it out. You got to feel your market out. You also got to feel yourself out, what you're comfortable with, and what because the thing is, you don't want to be charging something or charging in a way that you feel resentful at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Because like you wanna walk away from your deals like, yeah, I got what I deserved.
Right. And so did the client.
Yeah, you can lead with one, and then through discovery, you can offer the other ones or customize it at that point. But like if you want to have a certain price to get the customer in the door, then everything else is learned during discovery, and then you package them, then you give them the solution. Well, generally, to give an idea where you start at, and then after you hear the problems and what's going on, then you can pop all three. I have them all set. Lead with the one you feel most comfortable with. And then, like I said, during discovery, you'll say, okay, well, this would work perfectly with this and this and this. And then you can always upsell from there.
As long as you got your products ready to upsell. Like that's why I teach add-ons like teleprompter and things like that, depending on what your niche is. If I'm doing event videography, I may upsell, or you know, hey, we can get a guy with a gimbal. We can do a Steadicam operator. We can do a crane. I got a 14-foot crane. You know, we can do drone shots. So different stuff I have ready to upsell to my client. But it depends on your niche, because what one client works for one niche won't work for the other.
That's another thing too. So I have good news and bad news. Like, so I have a pretty big meeting with one of the presidents of a big college here in Michigan. But that's not the niche I'm going after. I'm really struggling with, like, you know, I think it's me. Like, I know what you said in the last video, like if you're not getting like fish to bite, it's probably you. But I'm like, it's for some odd reason, like it's hard for me to get dentists to want free video that I'm offering. Like, and it seems as though the office I go in, they're just busy and don't have time.
Let me ask you a simple question. You got a uniform?
What'd you say?
You have a uniform? And I was going to ask you, what color is it?
So I got blue, white, gray.
Wear your white one when you go talk to a dentist.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's little.
I haven't worn the white one yet, so maybe that's it.
If you go and talk to a dentist in a black shirt, it's little things like that. Because the dental is clean, the dental office is clean. Everybody's in there either with scrubs or a white shirt. It's little things like that that will turn somebody off if you walk in the door and you're there to do business with them.
Okay.
It's little things, but you have to understand your target audience, what they like, what they look for. It's little things like that. Because if you go in and if you got on just that shirt you got on right there, every dentist is gonna be like, I don't feel like you work with dentists. If you got
I don't. And, you know, I've been honest with them. Like, you will be the first, like, dentist. Like, you're the beta client. I want to solve a problem for you. This is free video. All I need in exchange is your honesty. You know, let us know, like, how our system and processes are, how the prices are, everything like that. And one lady did say she would call me back, so I don't know how it went yet. But she didn't seem as promising as I wanted.
Because if I worked in nothing but dental, I would almost have scrubs as a uniform. Like, I would almost have like medical grade uniforms, because that's all we work on. I mean, think about it. If you wanted to work for a mechanic, you're not gonna walk in a suit. You're gonna have a mechanic shirt with the name tag and the gloves, and you're gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? If somebody told me there was a mechanic instantly, and I got to choose between a guy in a tuxedo or a guy with the blue shirt with the blue pants and the gloves, and I'm gonna think that this guy is, even if I don't know nothing about him. If I just had to make a guess off how they look, I would just choose that guy in that uniform. So sometimes, like I said, it's very little things, and I'm using uniform as an example, but sometimes it's little things that you have to look at within your brand to see if you're appealing to them, right? And I'm gonna use this very, very harsh analogy, but you're going to instantly get it. There is nothing an unattractive woman can say to you outside of something outrageous to make you want to give her your attention, because you're just not attracted to her, right? She'd have to be like, she gonna do everything under the sun to get your attention, and it'll only be for about 10 minutes. But an attractive woman that is your type, or whatever you're attracted to is your type, if they approached you, they don't gotta say much, and you like, yeah, okay, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So your business has that same effect on your client, and it's a harsh way to put it, but you get it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get, I'm the ugly girl in the club. I get it.
Right.
You know,
somebody you find attractive don't got to say nothing. They can do half the stuff wrong, and you still like, okay, baby, we're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, your credit messed up, you ain't got a job, you're sleeping at your mama's house, but you're so cute. Yeah, we're gonna figure this out. Because they're designed to get your attention. They got the right stuff out. They got the right stuff tucked in, the right stuff out. You like, yeah, we're gonna figure it out. But the perfect woman who can have her life together, a 800 credit score, she got 3 Mercedes Benz, a big house, she can say nothing. You'll be like, you got to get talked into it. Your friends got to be like, but it's Oprah. And you're like, you know, it's Oprah Winfrey, bro. Like, yeah, but you see how she was wearing that one thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say you have to just focus on a brand and just how you approach people, and just sometimes it could be your delivery. Sometimes it can be your body language. Sometimes it can be the time of day you go in there. Sometimes it can be, your tone. It's a lot of little things that make people either want to work with you, they're either attracted to you or not. You know what I'm saying? So, if somebody say no, go back and find out why. Go back. If they say, nah, we ain't really, we okay. Do you mind if I ask why? I'm just curious and they'll tell you, or you'll start getting the same answers. And that's, unfortunately, like, I wish I had an answer that can just like straighten you out so you can go in and be like, boom. But since everybody niche is different and everybody location is different, I can only try to give you the tools to find out like why is it not working?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And often the biggest thing that I really, really want you and everybody listening to take away from it is we're so quick to be like, they're the problem. And 99.9% of the time, you're the problem. 99.9% of it is you. And it's not a bad thing, but the sooner we can realize that we need to focus on little tweaks on us, the better we are. And I promise you, when it start to work, it's going to you're going to overdose on it. Like when you start to be able to hold water, your cup going to fill all the way up. Like you got to get another cup. So it's just little things that, that you just try a different shirt every week. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I got gray uniforms. I got black uniforms. I got white uniforms. Whenever I go speak to anybody in the dental industry, I got a white shirt on. Period. It looks clean. They all got white coats. They all got light color scrubs. It's a clean environment. I want to appear as clean as possible. I don't even do black pants. I do gray pants or blue pants and a white polo. And I only use it whenever I go do anything in the medical industry.
What made you get to that point? Like, did you figure that out by yourself, or?
I sat in the room and I was the oddball with the dark colors on, and everybody else had light colors on. I'm like, how can I blend in? And especially I'm just, as a black guy from Detroit that's trying to get into environments that people may not always look like me, or I'm not gonna say belong, but naturally end up. I'm always trying to find out how can I blend in. right? How can I blend in? As a business, how can I make my business appear as great as all the other businesses you went to look for? So how can my business blend in, right? How can I get my brand and myself to the bar of what's normal or what's considered normal, and not cater to a race, a color, a gender, a sex. I want to be in the normal area where I'm appealing to everybody. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that niche and blend it in. I don't want people to work with me because they feel sorry for me because I'm a veteran or minority owned. I just don't want that. I want to be the guy you call when you want it done the best and you don't think about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody doing business with me because they feel sorry for me. I want people to do business with me because I offer the best. So to get to that bar, I had to eliminate a lot of things that was normal to me that didn't appeal to my audience. And it's stuff as little as the color of your shirt that would just change everything. It'll be so, to you, it'd be like, man, that's stupid. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's so dumb that. And I give you an example of a situation where it really punched me and I really learned it. As a combat photographer, I was at the last 2 inaugurations. I was at the last inauguration for I got images on my site from the last inaugurations from Obama and the only inauguration for Trump, right? So I just had the Obama pictures up. You know what I'm saying? However, I'm in Texas. You may meet somebody and just having it, they like, so I put both up to even it out. And then my calls started going back up. But I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that don't have nothing to do with my political preference, none of that. However, it's just a feeling people get when they see it. Like, you know, and I don't want that. I want people to have a neutral, you know, feeling about my company. And I want them to only be worried about what we offer and nothing else to pull you away from that. So to do that, you got to get within the bar of what's normal. You know what I'm saying? It's just like another example is when you watch movies, right? A really cheap movie, you can hardly focus on the story because you're like, this is so cheap. Like, come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it takes a lot to make a movie where the production level is so good that all you can get lost in the story. Right? It don't matter how bad the story is, or you know, you gotta have a certain amount of production level to get to the point where the viewer they only focusing on the story, and then creating a good story is a whole nother. But you don't want to have a good story and people gotta overlook the fact that your boom microphone then dropped in the scene twice, and you know what I'm saying? You know, and one camera angle he got a full cup, the next camera angle he don't. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have people, so you got to get your business to the point where none of that stuff is hurting you, and it's little stuff. It's a bunch of little stuff that will get you there. So, literally, when you go in and you make a pitch to somebody, write down that pitch. See at what point they checked out. You know what I'm saying? Did you get a chance? Did they say they'll give you the card, or did they say call you this time? And then keep note of that. And it's all about analytics, right? It's all about looking at what you're doing and then making small changes. Let me try this. Let me A/B test that. I used to change shirts in the parking lot. No BS. Like, maybe it's my shirt. I got a gray shirt. I got a white shirt. And I just started noticing like this is crazy. Like, whenever I got the white shirt on, in the medical field, people just more open.
That is a very weird. That is crazy.
Because you be blaming it on other stuff, like, oh, they just don't like me because I'm this, or they don't like it. Ain't that? It's not that. Your business part ain't up to par.
Yeah, and practice your process. Like I was saying before, your greeting. Every time they say no, write that objection down. Next time you hear it, you'll know how to respond. Yep. You have us in the members group. You should call everybody in the group and run through your pitch and find out what everybody says and what's going on. We don't test enough on ourselves before we go out.
Or a family.
Hey, don't
or a family or anybody.
I'll call every last one of y'all.
All right.
I'll role play with everybody.
And get that feedback. But anything that is said to you, remember it, write it down. So when you go to the next place, oh, we don't have time, the doctor's busy, or you should have something on hand right then and there to say that you discovered.
Yeah. Tim, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say that essentially both of those fall into two cognitive biases. So I don't know how much psychology any of you guys listen to, but the two that you should really look at is authority bias and similarity bias. Because similarity bias is obviously things that are similar to you tend to feel more comfortable with, right? Just like what Ty was saying, you got white shirts, they wear scrubs, that kind of stuff. It's similar, you feel safe. The other thing is like authority bias. Like in our industry, like I said, I'm very comfortable wearing a suit all the time, but it's because if we're dealing with really high caliber people, that's what is similar, that is what is expected, all those kinds of things. So that's really the big thing is like, what are the things that you can do to kind of help show that authority that you have in what you do, but how do you also make it similar?
Yep.
Like I said, one of the things that, and maybe this might help, I don't know if you're doing it or not. I actually did a video about this on our YouTube channel. It was one thing whenever I had my production company that I started seeing people took me a little bit more seriously is whenever you go in to meet a client, literally just take your camera and rig it up like crazy. Even though you're not there to shoot anything, take it in there. Because when people see a big rigged up camera, like I said, even if you put stuff on there that doesn't necessarily go there, most people outside of the film industry, outside of any of that, have no earthly idea. They just see that and they think, man, this guy is professional. This guy knows what he's doing, right? Yeah. And just doing those things, like I said, just carry it in there with you and be like, hey, I wanted to talk about XYZ, kind of all those little things that you do make a big difference. That's why even like on video calls that we do with clients, if I know that I want to sell them video, I will go and like back here, you can see that we have like our camera. I'll actually make it so that a lot of this stuff is more in focus, and I'll put lights back here, cameras, teleprompters, whatever we need to, because people perceive that, they can see that and be like, dang, this company knows what they're doing, right? I'm not just walking in and like, oh, I'll shoot your video right here kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Figure out how you can use those different things to really emphasize what you do and make you stand out as a professional, right? Because like authority bias is that whole thing where it's like whenever you see, if you're driving down the street and you see cop lights come on, you get freaked out, right? Even though if you're doing everything totally fine, it's because of that authority that a police officer has. Or the same thing, like a doctor, if a doctor walks in, he has his clipboard taking all the notes, whatever he tells you, you're going to do, right? Because all those little things play into that authority. So it's like, what can you do to up your authority as that content creator, as the person that's coming in there with a solution?
I will second that, because like one of the reasons why I show up on calls like this is it's part of my branding. Like I had a prospective client on a call yesterday where I hardly ever meet with people in person at the beginning. I make them go to my website, fill out a form, and then after the form, they schedule a Zoom call. And I show up on Zoom like this. And a lady that I was on with yesterday was like, I didn't even know a Zoom call could look like this.
I get that a lot.
Amazing.
I had a court date like that.
But it's to me, it's part of the brand that I'm building. So like if I'm supposed to be the video guy, if I show up on a video call and it don't look epic, then I'm doing myself a disservice. If I look like everybody else, how are they supposed to know that I'm different?
Facts. I got a little setup right now. I'm testing out because my meeting is actually on a Zoom call on Tuesday. So I'm trying to get the setup and everything before then, just to kind of get it like you. So
that lighting right. What area are you in? What city are you in? I forgot.
Kalamazoo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to be a little careful. You may want to. You may want to like be a little careful in parking lots as a black man with something black in your hand running into a stove. You know what I'm saying? Want to push that accent out there.
Yep.
Kalamazoo, I know about them parts up there. Yeah, you don't want to be running around like, yo, I'm here to shoot you. Like, yo, you're here to shoot what, sir? So you know what I'm saying? Like, we just gotta be, just want to throw that out there.
That's why I need a van too, so they know I'm here to shoot film, not bullets.
True. That's why the van helped me. I stick right by the van. Like this is me right here, bro. I do it. Kalamazoo, you got to be careful out there. But yeah, I totally agree. And like I said, it's little tweaks, it's little things like that that will help just get people attention long enough for them to hear what you're saying, and get your foot in the door. So little things like that, we just got to continue to work on and be mindful of that. Trust me, I was doing it for years and just never thought of it until I was hiring mentors that was just like, yo, let's go look at this. Let's go look at what you're presenting. And then don't worry about the fact that you're not reaching people or people are saying no. Let's look at what you're offering and then let's determine whether or not that works for your target audience.
Yeah.
I promise you, it's more than likely you. And it was a hard pill to swallow. It was a Popeye's biscuit with nothing to drink, but it was, it was real.
So, last question real quick. I don't want to make it all about me. So how long, because I'm doing decent in the area of, as decent as you can, I guess, in the area of kind of like finding like big gigs, but that aren't necessarily in the right niche or the same niche. But as far as like sticking to one niche, like how long should I try dentist and then maybe switch it?
Let me ask you a question. Do dentists still need video?
Yeah, but my thing is, like, if I go to like 10 different dentists and they all say no for whatever reason, even if it's my fault, I feel like I'm like, now those 10 dentists I can't really go back to, otherwise I'm bugging them in a way.
The thing is this: if you switch industries, you'll never find out why it didn't work with the last one. Right? You gotta figure it out. You gotta master that before you move to something different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So sometimes bugging them, sometimes if you can, I'm okay with bugging a dentist, and because I'll tell them, like, just be honest with me and tell me why, why you guys didn't choose me. You know what I'm saying? That way I can understand. Like, I'll stop bugging you if you can just tell me why it didn't work out, so that when I go to the next dentist, I won't have that problem. So sometimes, good looking out, Tim, real quick, because you're getting ready to go. We're getting ready to close in a minute, but I want to say thanks a lot, Tim. We appreciate you, man. But don't jump to the next thing, or you're going to just have the same problem with just a different person in front of you. There's going to be barbers telling you no. It's going to be, you know what I'm saying, whatever niche you jump to, I promise you, it's not the niche. The part that you got to get right is with the man in the mirror. Because once you get it right, you're gonna be able to go to whatever niche and get whatever you know what I'm saying, and dominate it. Once you understand what you're doing wrong, you're just gonna get really good at it in a particular niche. Like fishermen can fish for any fish because they understand how to, I gotta understand what type of fish is in this lake. I gotta know what type of lure they want. I gotta know what type of line, how much weight. Like once they understand how to be successful at catching largemouth bass, you can tell them any type of fish and they can do the research and then get better at it. So you saying I don't want to fish for bass, I want to fish for something else won't fix it.
Yeah, and just because you got a niche don't mean you can't do work outside that niche. Right. It should just mean that the niche is what you're best at.
Right. And what you're marketing at and what you're going after.
Right, and don't go back the same way every time. Make changes in between.
Yep.
You got to make changes, go through, find out what you think you can change, what you know you can change, and then go back. But don't just go one after another. You keep getting no, and don't make any changes. You have to make changes. You got to be able to be self-aware and try different things.
And ask them straight up. Just I ask people, what was it about the way I entered that? And that's, hey guys, I understand you guys don't want to work with me. That's cool. But I'm trying to, like I said, I was new. I'm trying to improve. So can you please just give me some feedback on, What didn't work? Just like if you have a job interview and it don't work, I always ask for feedback.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's literally a job interview. Ask for feedback. Have thick skin. Ask it for them. Like, look, I want to know the truth. Like, don't sugarcoat it. You know, I'm okay with the fact that you guys don't want to work with me, but the best thing you can do to help me right now is just to be honest with me, and I promise I'll stop bugging you.
Yeah.
And you will get somebody that's just like, you know, you may get a lady at the front desk like, you sound like all the other guys that come in here trying to sell stuff. My boss said, don't bring none of them to the back. Like, don't even contact me if they're trying to sell something. And you know in your heart, you're not trying to sell them. You're actually trying to help them. You're trying to give them something for free. So now I got to sound less salesy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's little things like that that you get from people, and they'll tell you. You know, so that's just like when you leave a relationship. Sometimes it's best to ask the person you broke up with. You know, hey, why didn't it work? Oh, because I had 10 side chicks. Okay, well, we could have got over that, but. You know,
that's no brainer right there.
I guess next time I should only have 8, huh? No, I need to have 0. Okay. Now I know to make it work, I need to have 0 side chicks. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just it's best to get that information.
Yeah.
You know, so that again, a big chunk of our success in this industry is looking at us, because as a creative, any creative, we tend to have more ego than the average person, right? We it for you to have the guts and the balls to put something out in the world and be like, I created it, y'all gonna like it. You gotta have some level of ego. Like, it's just normal, right? So we just gotta will it in, and we just gotta be flexible with it. Especially once you start posting them pictures, you start getting likes, and your mama telling you that the video is good, and your grandma like, this is a good picture. You start, you know what I'm saying, walking around like I want to be on the cover of Time magazine or something.
Yeah.
And, it's just that you got a nice model with a big booty, and you know what I'm saying. So I didn't came from that. I done had dope models that was just fine in the mug. It'd be the focus be all on her nose or her ear, and she's on, all they see is baby oil and stuff. They like, man, it's a good picture. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is, she was just she was a 10, and the picture was a 2.
Yeah, man,
that's a strong 7.
That is no joke.
Yeah. So that's sometimes it be like that. But speaking of models, then 10.
Say 2 weeks, maybe even 1. I'm gonna come on here with a success story.
I know.
I know I've been down for a couple weeks, but I promise y'all.
But it's also January too, man. So
yeah. I've been trying this beta thing since.
Hey, but also another thing you got to get comfortable with is just that in business in general, you gonna hear no more than you hear yes.
Yeah.
So you got to get comfortable with that. Like even when you offering stuff for free, like a lot of people's gonna say no just because it's free. They're not gonna trust it.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, if it's really valuable, why are you giving it away?
Yeah.
And that's why you got to put more value in. I'm trying to learn something, and in exchange for learning, I'm gonna give it to you for free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I'm gonna be really, really, really real with you. If you can't give it away, it's gonna be real hard to sell it. So master giving it away. If you can't give it away, it's gonna be real hard to sell it.
Joshua, don't be like me, where I went into a big rut, got all depressed.
I know. I feel like
you just got to change it up, though. You can't do it. You got to change it up every time. You know what I'm saying?
You got Alex crying, man. Alex is crying. He got
Alex crying for you, man. That man, grown man. You got that grown man over here crying, man, in the blue room, man.
Had to run in with R. Kelly, I think.
Role play. You got to role play.
Man. He hurt. You see what I'm saying? Robert. You got that man over there crying, man. Gosh, man, he trying to blame it on some allergies. I ain't seen him like that since Mufasa died back in the day, man. He wasn't like that since he got kicked out of Boys to Men back in '97. You know what I'm saying? They left him at the Apollo. He hurting, man. So yeah, man, we all here for you.
Hey, just real quick too, man, and I think Alex will agree with this, or at least know where this came from. It's like everybody said it here, man. You just got to put in the work. You know, you got to analyze, you got to assess the situation, assess what you've done, go back to the drawing board, you know, adjust as needed and get back out there. And the thing is, you just got to learn to fall in love with the process, man. You got to be in it for the long game. It's the
embrace the nose.
Everything that Ty and everybody here and all these folks like, you know, Alex and Mr. Panama, Mr. One Click, and everybody else. The reason why, man, that they're so successful, man, is that they've been in the game for a minute. And they've been doing this for a while, right? Same thing with Michael too. He's been doing, you know, amazing photography for like 15 plus years. So what they're, especially with Ty through the courses, what he's given is, it's not a shortcut. It's just a blueprint for success, so to speak, minus the mistakes. So you don't have to go through it. And that way,
in order that I wish I would have learned it.
Right. So just know, man, you're not the ugly girl in the club, man. You're not the ugly girl. You got a different type of beauty, and you just got to find the mate that's going to like what you got. That's all it is.
You just need a better wig and a better dress. That's all.
This guy over here acting like you're looking like Jamie Foxx on Living Color.
Oh no!
That's what you got to do. You know,
that's how it goes. Mike, how many girls said no when you first started your photography? When you started taking pictures? Hey, let me check your picture. They were like, no.
Oh man, hundreds.
Hundreds, but after 5 beta tries,
you know get your models.
I gotta quit. Come on now.
No, you're right. You're right. But I would just say this. I did not give up because I was passionate. Like, hey, I could really do something with this. I really love it.
About booty too.
I put it in work. Now,
you really wanted to see him bad, huh?
Hey,
Michael could go through getting dissed by 100 women. 2 doctors tell him no, and he said 100 women is like, get out of here, creep. But 2 doctors is like, well, call me Tuesday.
This thing ain't attractive. So they like, look, true story though. True story. It ain't gonna get no. I tried to get into boudoir, right? Boudoir. We're talking about boudoir.
Is your door closed before you get to this
booty war?
Yeah. And what happened was I dotted my I's, crossed my T's. I even had her permission on it, right? And I was like, "Are you serious?" Like I had to check my pulse, make sure. Like, you sure about this? And I sent out an ad, or just sent out a post, and you know what? I got turned down. And I was called. I was like, I got really put down. I was like, you just want to do this because you want to quote unquote get off. I don't want to take pictures with a fat self. Dude, it hurt. It hurt. It really hurt. Right? So, but I didn't take that to. I said, you know what? That's just a small thing, and I'm just gonna go on my way and just go on and do it. And I took it as a learning. Like you said, I took that and said, okay, I guess I'm not ready for that. I have to show them what I can do to make it more.
I gotta be cute to take your pictures.
Exactly. I ain't the one that's gonna show up on the film. That's you.
What you trying to do? I'd have been like, what you trying to do where I need to be cute to take pictures?
Besides, I know I'm cute. I already got a life. I don't need you.
I'll leave it $40.
What are we changing on?
Get out of my face with that. I would have been like, I don't want to break my camera anyway. No, I'm a little bit of.
Hey, but one thing I'll say, Joshua, one thing that is already putting you ahead of the curve is that you're looking for help. You're looking for advice. You're looking for mentorship. There's a lot of people out there who never do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're actively trying to level up. You're here in the group. You're talking to people. You're trying to figure it out. That's already going to put you ahead of a lot of people because you're doing more work than a lot of people already.
And another thing you really got going for you is you got a nice white name. That's good. My name is Tyrone. They ain't having it. So I had to shorten it to Ty. And now I got these subscribers everywhere all of a sudden.
Josh, too. Try to get some low-hanging fruit. Go to people in your area that does free dental work for underprivileged people. Go in their office and offer to do some videos for them, and/or some videos for the community that would help them with, having that doctor on, clean your teeth this way, do that. You're finding people that's already willing to work with people. Once you get those people on film, you can say, I've worked with Dr. Such and such. You just don't have to say it was at the Free Huff Clinic.
Right. Sometimes you got to get the girls at the bus stop, bro, before you get the ones,
Why, Ty? Stop it. Stop it.
Right. The best move is to get the big ugly girl, head out on the floor, tear it up, and then everybody else will want to dance with you.
That is absolutely true. You get the ugly girl, you dance with her, and all the girls are gonna be looking. It works. It's real talk.
See, the last week y'all telling me to swing big at the beautiful girl. Now
you gonna get there. You gonna get there, but you got to get the ugly girl first. Treat her nice.
Man.
Let's put it in a non ugly girl sense.
Show them, Alex, there's levels to this.
Do it this way, Josh. Instead of taking the ugly girl on the dance floor, you're taking the grandma on the dance floor, and then all the ladies are gonna come and want to dance with you. You go on the smooth route, dude. You go on the classy route.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
So y'all telling me to get Kelly.
Way to go, Senator. That was very nice.
Way to go, politically correct guy. Right. Back to the Todd show. You get the most busted and disgusted looking. I wanted nothing fit. She got 3 buttons of a 5-button outfit that's working properly, and you dance with her until she's just smiling, grinning, and then watch. They will flock to you.
I can't.
Works every time.
I can't.
When you got one of them gonna make sense, and that's all that matters here. But yeah, sometimes you gotta crawl for you walk, and you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Sometimes it's late Saturday night, and you go through your phone book, and you get to the back of it, and you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta, call them people up.
I do not miss those days. I do not miss those days.
But you know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes you gotta.
I was back in the early college days.
Yeah, man. Them married guys, they got it good. You don't got to hunt no more. But for the hunters out here, sometimes you just gotta get a possum every now and then. You can't get a deer, or you gotta get a squirrel where you can catch a squirrel. You know what I'm saying? You can't always get a a cow with all the meat and bacon. Sometimes you just gotta get a squirrel sandwich, to make it through the night. So you may have to just start with a squirrel sandwich. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that.
Squirrel sandwich.
Squirrel sandwich.
Wow.
You better start with a possum sandwich, a nice little raccoon soup to get through the, you know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't got nice burgers and steaks. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I lived off raccoon soup for a good time before I started figuring it out. And it is what it is. Little skunk burger for good for you,
Tyler, they're like Simba after he got kicked out from the prize. Like, finally yet satisfying.
Right. It's different, but you just gotta, sometimes you gotta start in a place. You gotta start here to get there, is what I'm saying. I've been there before. I don't ever think I stepped out and it worked. I got years of just getting my ass whooped before I started to figure it out. And it took me investing in a mentor to look at me and say, stop buying gear, stop doing that, stop doing this, and worry about you. Focus on you, fix you. And I thought it was everything else in the world. It just couldn't possibly be me because I'm out here and I want to do it and I'm saying the right things, but you're not. So the biggest thing that I started investing in was myself, and just reading books on how to approach people and body language and psychology, and reading books on first impressions, and just watching stuff to upgrade this and here helped me. And I tell you all the time, my first day of photography class, the very first lesson they taught us was the most important tool in your bag is your personality. You can walk in and shoot a movie with an iPhone if you got the personality to win over the room. So that's just where you got to put the focus at to be successful. That and possum sandwich.
Sunday they have some pretty good rates.
So with that being said,
afternoon or evening.
I couldn't hear you. What you say?
I was gonna say, what would y'all suggest for? Like I said, the dentist didn't necessarily say no. She actually said she would give a call.
Make sure to follow up.
Yep, follow up.
Make sure to follow up. I've learned that definitely over the last year, that the follow up is so important, because one thing you got to remember is you are not a priority. Yep. You are not a priority. Their business, their clients, their what they got going on in their life, that's their priority. Like, you may be coming in with a cinematic solution. It may be exactly what they need. You might have the golden ticket, all of that. They don't care because you're not their priority. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, they got blinders on. So you may have to chase them. You may have to follow up, because they might want it, but you might have just slipped their mind. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself in front of them.
I show up. Show up with a $5 gift card. Just do the $5 gift card Starbucks thing when you follow up.
Man, I gave her one when I left.
She's waiting for you. She's just taking it like, well, here you go again, sucker. Like, no, you gotta like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I would stay persistent, because she's gonna get tired of you showing up. I mean, as long as you're respectful and you're not, they ain't trying to tase you to get you out of there, But as long as
you can buy me a drink.
Right. Yep. You gotta be
Man, and Kalamazoo has restraining order on you.
Like, right now, you are the ugly girl. So
that's what you gotta do. I mean, you got to stay persistent. And every time I go in, I'm looking to set a date to talk to them. Oh, they're busy. Okay, so what's a good date? Look at their calendar and let's pick a date where I can talk to them. Don't leave with just like, I'm busy. Like, okay, no. When are they not busy? Like, because they should tell you what day is their slow day. This Tuesday morning we slow. Okay, cool. Can I get on the calendar for Tuesday at 11? Yes or no? If no, I'm done. Ain't nothing I can do. You obviously not trying to talk to me. I got to go. Somebody's gonna open up that calendar and be like, okay, I can put you down for Wednesday at 3 or whatever, but I'm leaving with a date. That's my call to action.
Right. I just shot an interview with a sales trainer a few weeks ago, and she was like, the main goal of every call is to have a reason to call them again.
Yep. Hey, I got a quick thing. Hey, there's this electronic card that I just ordered. I know you talked about business cards, Ty, but I ordered an electronic card for Blue Social. But to let you guys know how that works out, because I did go on to my credit union to try to shoot some of their portraits. Mm-hmm. And it was so funny because I just ordered the Blue Social card and I didn't have any business card. And the first thing the lady said was, leave your business card. And I was like, oh man, but that blue Social card, it's an NFC card. So you just tap the back of the phone. All your social media just gets downloaded. I think it's a great idea because they always ask you for your IG, your website, and it has a QR code on there too if their NFC is not working. But I also did order the standard credit cards too.
Yeah, what I would do is I put the QR code on the business card.
I did that too. Because
they're cheaper, and it's just plenty of times people gave me their phone numbers in my phone book and I totally forget about it. I'm like, oh snap, I do got your number. You know what I'm saying? Where it's something tangible they can keep. Plus, you got to look at the age range of your target audience. Like if they're older, you see people freak out at the restaurant right now and they got to scan the QR code to get their food. They're like, I don't know what to do. So imagine when you come into them with that, they really they don't want to look up a QR code to eat and they hungry. So when you present them with technology, they really gonna be like, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just be mindful of that whenever you present them with that technology, because technology it scare a lot of people.
Yeah, that's why I got both forms. So it just depends on who I run into. And they both have the QR code. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know, keep you informed on how it works out. I'm curious to see what happens myself.
Yeah, and a business card can be a chance to impress somebody. Just like the quality of the business card, like the design of it, the card stock, everything like that. Like I've handed people a business and be like, oh, this is nice. Like, the fact that you invested a little bit more in it.
Well, it's like your background. You know what I'm saying?
I've been in a situation where multiple video guys gave them a card at once, and because my card had the red paper, and it was a thicker card, and it was portrait instead of landscape. It just, out of all the regular like white cards, mine just stood out, and they just remember me.
Okay.
And usually I love it when people are like, "Oh, you handed me two." I'm like, "No, I didn't." Like, oh, it's a nice card.
Okay. All right, I'll let you know how it works out though with that blue social.
Yeah, definitely. I always see the commercials, and it's always like some hot chick, and they're like, "Oh, come here, bloop, bloop." All right, you know, I don't know if y'all see that commercial, but I always see the commercial. But.
Yeah, they got me, so they got me.
It was like, bet. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap with that, fellas. I'm gonna go ahead.
Right, gentlemen.
Oh man, I'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Fellas.
I got some other videos coming, so if you get a chance, I don't know if y'all seen the video I dropped today talking about when to buy used gear.
Yep, I watched it.
Yeah, that's some hit. I'm about to hit that Craigslist up. I actually got like 2 people I'm meeting with tomorrow trying to grab some more glass, but we'll see how that work out. So,
all right, bro.
But y'all be safe, man. Y'all have a good night. We're gonna get together real soon and do